Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? It is your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Hope all of you are doing well during this holiday time. Appreciate y'all for coming through, hanging out, watching. We are doing the typical annual, I think this is probably about the third, maybe fourth year running of my favorite releases of the year in terms of K-pop. I will also be doing alternative music. I still listen to that crazily enough. So I will be doing that the following Monday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it is already out. If you are watching this on Twitch, cool. If you're on Patreon, this should be up very soon. So come hang out on Patreon if you have not yet. So very excited. I feel like I say this every year, but honestly, it almost poses so many issues. Is God, it's tough. It's tough. I feel like every year there's always a ton of great releases that come out year over year, and I'm just stuck here trying to figure it all out. So, very interesting, but super stoked. I really tried to do my best to remember and also listen to a bunch of these albums. So I had done my research as I've done every year, but this one was tough. This was a tough one for sure. So, Sarah, hello. Thanks for hanging. Gunky, what's up? Watching while working. Hey, listen, if I can get you through the night, that'd be awesome. Sally, hello. Unhi, hello. Sarah says, if you're watching this on Patreon, it's up right now. You are in the moment right now. So very excited. But I'm gonna pull up my Spotify. I feel like past years I've put YouTube playlists together with varying results. I probably think Spotify might be a little bit easier to kind of put it all together. So that's it. So I did pick a top 20 in terms of albums, and then I did do 5 honorable mentions. So I will be going through the honorable mentions first, and then obviously delving into the albums, my top 20 albums of this year. So very excited. So Guggy says work is crazy right now, so it's overtime week. Unfortunately, I'm salary, so I don't get overtime. Oof, that's rough. I don't either. I am also salary, so I feel you on that. But best of luck. Hopefully, it'll all go smoothly. Dang, hello. 2 a.m. here. We'll watch for a bit until I fall asleep. Thank you for hanging. Hopefully, you're enjoying your vacation. Biscuit, hello. Thanks for hanging. Jazz, hello. Hello. Thanks for hanging, chat. Love y'all. So, all right. Well, we're keeping it up. I'm pulling it up. The first one I wanted to talk about in my honorable mention is number 5, and I just found out about this more recently, but I've been just obsessed with this new release. But I had no idea Juny put out a new album, and I'm first of all pissed that my streaming platform did not tell me that Juny had a new album out. But it's great. It is Null. I am a big fan of Juny. I love his work. But I feel like I couldn't put it up higher just because, again, I probably found out about probably the end of November. But like I had no idea. And it looks like, I mean, streaming wise, it's like doing pretty decent, which is good. But yeah, I was kind of upset. I didn't know he had an album. I just thought he was touring and had no idea. So, but the one that I really liked a lot was Sour. The whole album's just so good. I think if you like anything that Juny's put out recently or previously for that matter, I think you're definitely going to enjoy this release. But Sour, every time I come back and listen through to this album, I've just been like, damn, this song hits. So I had to throw it on the playlist for favorites of this year. So Jazz says he's going on tour too. So excited. Yes, I also agree. Hopefully, I'll have to double check on the dates, but I would love to see him. So hopefully we'll get an opportunity. If not, I'll try to do my best. But let's check out Sour first. I'm excited. I've listened to this so many times, but so good.
Party in the after hour. There's a reason to be out of line. Its temperature be rising. Are we there to just go chase that high? Oh, I've been trying to let myself out, 'cause I've been thinking about it, girl. Can't just let it slide. I promise you won't tell no lie. You're getting loud to bend for this. Don't want another trip. And time is all we got, ain't too far. Girl, give you all the baseline. Say pulling up straight piping. Switching lanes going right.
That chorus is scopes. Oh.
Trying to bring me down. Molding shotgun in the yacht plane. See you pulling up straight piping. Switching lanes going right left. Sour attitude trying to bring me down. Baby, take a chance, go all out. Tripping in the finest, but without she shining brighter. Turning heads, but she don't wanna seem to get involved. All the reasons why I'm starting with a disclosure. I ain't conversating just to make her come over. If only I could steal her type. I just wanna get to know how. 'Cause I've been thinking about it, girl. Can't just let it slide. Honestly, girl, I ain't lying. You try, you gotta start queen. 뭐가 됐든 너면 돼. I give you all I got, hear me out. Girl, give you all the bass like. Say pulling up straight piping. Switching lanes going right left. Attitude trying to bring me down. Molding shotgun in the yacht plane. Say pulling up straight piping. Switching lanes going right left. Attitude trying to bring me down. Baby, take a chance, go all out.
I love this little guitar solo at the end. Super sick.
I'm trying to get to you. I'm trying to get to you, baby, that's right. Oh, you see that? Oh, you see that right there? Oh, oh, oh. Caught her slipping up, she's smiling. I'm trying to flip the script 'cause she likes it sour.
All right, very cool. This was my first honorable mention. Shout outs to Juny and his new album Null. It looks like it didn't come out that long ago, August 20th. Again, sleeping under a rock, but this was a phenomenal release. I'll also give another shout outs to another song I really liked. Shout outs to Cerulean, also a phenomenal Korean artist. But she did a song with Juny, Next to Me, which is the final song on the release. And that one is also just chef's kiss. So I love Cerulean, and obviously having her sing with Juny is just like a match made in heaven for me. So also wanted to give that a shout. But Sour, I don't know, it's just got the vibes, you know what I mean? Like there's just something about putting it on and it's just like a feel good song. Juny's a fantastic vocalist. So I loved hearing his like vocal riffing, and like there's like some really great ad libs, and I also love like a lot of the ensemble vocals that he does. So that was incredible. The hook in the chorus is like super memorable, very fun, just very lively, something typically of what I would expect from Juny. I love the like kind of like almost like Stevie Wonder, superstitious sort of like synth tone. I love that. I think that's incredible. I know it's kind of like a Roland, I think like some sort of Roland synth. But it's so common, but it's so memorable, and I think it makes the song really very, again, adding to that fun vibe of the song. So I love that. And I love that little bit of like guitar lead at the end. That was phenomenal too. Just really kind of adds that little bit of spice, you know. So I like that as well. But Juny is a fantastic artist. I know he's done a lot of great like collaborative work over this year as well too. So big salutes to him. He's really getting his bag, and I love that for him. But I thought this release was really good, and honestly, I'm glad it just made the final cut for me, because I did really enjoy this album so much. So this was a chef's kiss. So great work, Juny. Salutes. Maybe one day I'll get to interview you. That'd be sick. But Sarah says, this song is sick. Sonja, hello. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate you. Sarah says, Juny wrote some of my favorite songs this year, so shout outs to him. Hey, let's go. Yes, he did. Big facts. And he says, ooh, love me some Cerulean. Don't think I've heard that. Hey, let's go. Putting chat on it. So love it. So very cool. big salutes. If you have an opportunity to see Juny live in the States, please go out and see him. I'm sure he's a phenomenal performer. But the next one I have here, I think might potentially come as a slight shock. But I really liked the most current P1 Harmony album. I'll be frank, I feel like I haven't really liked a lot of the new ones, and that's not because I think they're a bad group. I feel like Duh was good, but Killing It, I remember I listened to a ton. Sad Song was really sick too, but like I don't know, Killing It was just like that album for me last year. And this one I feel like is replacing. Honestly, X was very close to. Um, I feel like X is such a phenomenally catchy song. I would have put that as my favorite, but I listened to Stupid Brain, and damn, I was just like, bro, this song's so good. This whole EP is great. I love the Spanish version. I don't speak Spanish, or I speak a little Spanish, but not great. And that was phenomenally done. Dancing Queen's also incredible. Night of My Life was like a very close second to Stupid Brain in my opinion. So I think this is a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty solid, if not probably my most favorite release that they've done recently. And I just feel like they continue to just get better and better. Like the hooks, the catchiness, they just dive in, and I'm here for it. So Koki says, unfortunately, you didn't have enough time to get higher on your list. Yeah, for Juny, yeah, I would also agree, but I know I will be doing my due diligence to listen to it more over January and February, I'm sure, and hopefully longer. So Sarah says, I'll never be shocked someone loves P1 Harmony. Everyone should. Koki says, this wouldn't shock me. They are very talented, and Dancing Queen, sick. I agree. Dancing Queen's incredible, but I didn't want to be remiss to leave them off my list, bars, but I feel like for me, they deserve to be at least mentioned. I know there were some albums that obviously made it higher up on my personal list, but it was so good. Sarah says, if I had a nickel for every bias I had, whose name is Jiyoung, since they're both pronounced the same, I'd have 2 nickels. Let's go. All right. Well, my favorite song from this release, again, I honestly, you could pick me on any day and I'd probably pick a different one, but for me right now, Stupid Brain's been phenomenal. So we'll give this one a spin. This intro just is so cool too.
I think I'm doing it, I do it again. I think I'm losing it, man. Blessings died. I'm in a room full of all of my friends, and I'm just up in my head, yeah. So worried about the things I say, so worried about this feeling I can't shake. I spent years an indecision with no vision. No, why can't I just stop? Just turn it off, just for a day. 'Cause I don't wanna live a life trying to hold on while it's slipping away. Yeah, that ain't no way to survive. Wish I could shut my stupid brain off sometimes. Why does everybody stare at me like that? Do I look too stupid? I'm running fast but falling down slowly, again and again. I need to let this go. I'm so sick of overthinking, never listen. Oh, why can't I just stop? Just turn it off, just for a day. 'Cause I don't wanna live a life trying to hold on while it's slipping away. Yeah, that ain't no way
lead guitar too. So nice. I think I'm noticing a trend in my picks this year. Falsetto.
Matter well, it's trying to get there to wait for some stuff. What I got, so many things in my head. My little brain just off. I'm ready to get missing, trying to make it better. I can't. Yeah, there ain't no way to survive. Wish I could shut my stupid brain up sometimes. Oh, and just let go for once in my life. Wish I could shut my stupid brain up sometimes.
All right, very cool. That was Stupid Brain by P1 Harmony off their newest release X. I'll keep it kind of brief. Gunky says I like the guitar. Big shocker to my guitar announcement. Yes, I know. And water is wet. I think this is incredible. With the X as well as Dancing Queen, I feel like they just offer different like vibes, and I appreciate their tonality. And obviously, I could talk about X a ton more times, but I'm here to talk about Stupid Brain. And I feel like to me, P1 are, first of all, they're exceptional vocalists. But I felt like with this song, like there's kind of a mix of like vocal flexing as well as like subtleties. Like there's something about this song that I really appreciate. And I love that like there's some parts in the song, especially in the first verse of the song, where it's like a little bit more like in the box, you know what I mean? Like I think that their vocals kind of sit in a specific part of those songs where like they don't have to do a lot of vocal flexing, and it's like how well can they nail these like vocal lines? And they did obviously do a phenomenal job, but like in the second verse, I love that they kind of do like a little bit of like they do like a little ad-libbing, right, with their like vocal runs and stuff like that, and like inflect a little differently. And I think to me that's what really makes Stupid Brain, at least to me, really impressive, is like the instrumentation is like really good and I like it a lot, but I do feel like a lot of the things that I appreciate about the song is like those ways that they can kind of incorporate like a cool run or a cool ad lib, or like kind of press their vocals more. And like one member I point out specifically, and I know I've pointed out him a lot in previous P1 Harmony videos / deep dives, but Kyo, I feel like he's got such a great vocal, and like he's got like a good like warmth and like a little bit of warble to his tone. And I felt like this song, especially with his voice, kind of just works really well. And I also love that this song's like on the longer side. I feel like I know we often joke about how short songs are, and this obviously not being a title track, but there's just something about it that I just appreciate, kind of the flow, the the personality of the song, and like there's like a little bit of rapping towards the end of the song. I think it kind of culminates a lot of the things that I've loved about P1 Harmony so far, not only this year but just in general. And I think it really kind of highlights them in the best way that I feel like they possibly could be highlighted. So really great song. Again, if you have the opportunity and you haven't checked out this EP, I would recommend it for sure, especially if you're looking for like a really sick guys group. I would definitely recommend giving them some love. So very cool. All right, third on my honorable mentions list. This one was a little tough. I feel like I came around to this one also really late too, but I really enjoyed the most current WayV album. I know we did like WayV a good bit ago. I think probably actually about a year ago, roughly to the date. I know they have a new winter album, which I will have to check out as well. But I really did enjoy Big Bands. I love the title track. But I think the one that stood out to me the most, Ice-T is also phenomenal as well. A lot of the songs on this release are phenomenal, but Sad Eyes was the one that I think stood out to me the most. Vocally, there's just something really cool. I think WayV also is, again, has, I think you'll probably notice a trend is like there's just been some really phenomenal vocalists this year and like vocals in general this year. But I loved Sad Eyes, and I felt like WayV just absolutely crushed this song. So as much as I love Big Bands, which great title track, fun song, Sad Eyes is my favorite from this release. So we're gonna give this one a listen. So Guggy says, I'm at work. I wish I could shut off this stupid brain. That's my motto for the week. Well, hopefully you make it through it. We'll, hopefully it'll be easy, smooth sailing for you. Sarah says, I just love music in Mandarin, so I'm down. Let's go. All right, let's get into Sad Eyes then.
说的话很轻，像海风吹过了誓言，世界变安静，因为我不再给安慰，我为你筑起了城墙。Will you break me down？ 泪眼无法隐藏悲伤。Who save you now？Sad eyes, don't cry， 舍不得如此离开。Last night， 走的爱，搁浅在无声对白。当眼泪全来自于海，是你关外的宠爱。Sad eyes, don't cry, don't cry。转身后你的伤害，原来深藏在那温柔姿态，我却一直都还在。受困于你别致的依赖，看时尽，我已只剩空心，抱着我像预告结局的伏笔，爱的语气成了竞争的武器，我们对望却不同，心茫茫在偏离。我为你筑起了城墙 ，Why you break me down？ 泪眼无法掩藏悲伤 ，Who's gonna save you now？Sad eyes, don't cry， 舍不得如此离开。Last time， 最后的爱。在无声对白，当眼泪却来自原来，是你有关怀的尘埃。Sad eyes, don't cry, don't cry。记得他们收回所有心软 ，Sorry sad eyes， 却像离人隔开。我撞进爱里，就像被击散，心头狂笑被迫一直是片段。眼神反光，像作为影像，躲在你眼里，我唱着你的假象。我珍惜了我们，你却从不承认。Now I'm flipping the script, I'm the sad, sad eyes.
All right, very cool. This was WayV's Sad Eyes from their newest EP, Big Bands. Very nice. Thanks for joining for my albums of the year on the K-pop side. So, Andy, hello. Thanks for coming through. I obviously enjoyed this one a lot. I think to me there is something very familiar about like that guitar riff. Like, it reminds me of like some like old school. I want to say old school because then that would make me old. But even though I just said it, it's kind of got like it's kind of got like that classic like 90s sound to it. I don't know. I think again it definitely gives me like maybe some like old like JoJo, you know, like Get Out. Definitely kind of gives me that sort of feel. Maybe it could just be like the nostalgia talking to some degree, but like every time I heard that guitar riff, I was like, this feels very familiar, but I like it. Also, their falsetto tones are gorgeous. I think that they, again, I think I talked about WayV a ton when we initially did them, but the group composition is so incredible. I think they've got really phenomenal vocalists. Again, a trend you'll probably notice a lot throughout this stream, but I just love kind of the hooks. I think, like, again, that chorus is so memorable. Those bright falsetto tones, I think, is something I think about on this release so much and so often. I will say, I think probably the only thing that and again, I've talked about before, but just kind of like the length of the song is a little short, but I do feel like they really compacted it all, so um, it doesn't feel small. Like, it doesn't feel like a short song. I think it is very concise in the way that it's approached. So I don't think there would be anything that I would change about the song. But listen, if I got like another 30 seconds or something like that, I wouldn't be mad, certainly. But I think it is a very, very well written song, and I think the way that they perform it is just incredible. So, really enjoyed this one. Again, the whole release is incredible. If you have the opportunity to check out this one, go give it some love. Um, very nice. Jess says, Shujun's, I gotta love Shujun's voice. Very nice. Gucky says, nice, a nice song. Oh God. Disappointed by a lack of Christmas aesthetics in your outfit. I came to stream to see you, to see a sweater. Oh my God. Wow. We got haters in the chat. Anywho, we're gonna keep it moving. The next one we got, ironically enough, is it's called Wendy's Cerulean Verge. I obviously have said my love of uh Red Velvet on the show before. Um, I know. Listen, I could do a wardrobe change if you all want to see it. So, oh boy. Anyway, Cerulean Verge, I think actually Unhi, I'll give a shout out to Unhi. They had posted about the new Wendy stuff, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna give Wendy some love. Um, but I really did go down the rabbit hole with her latest release. Um, so I just really enjoyed it. And I gotta say, I really did vibe with Cerulean Verge. So let me think. Oh God. Kagi says just do wardrobe changes behind closed doors. Sarah says, I think this has become an intervention and we need it. Oh God. Um, damn. This is listen. I'll go change into the Christmas sweater if y'all really want to see it. Oh my God. This is great. This is the type of intervention that I feel like I needed. Listen, I'll go to BRB and I'll do it. I'll do it, chat. If you want to see it, I'll go do a change. Oh God, yellow flag. Oh God. All right. Be like straight kid. All right. All right. I'll be right back, chat. Oh my God. Wow. All right, chat. I'm back. Look, we're here. We've got it. We love to see it. I'll do the full get up. Look at this. This shout outs. Shout outs to my girlfriend. But listen, y'all asked for it. I gotta do it. Love to see it. All right, well, let's get back into this shit. Kala, hello. Yes, perfect time to roll in. Oh boy, this is great. Love to see it. Yep. Oh god. No, it's not the hamster fruit. It's not Rick, though. I feel like it should be affectionately known as Rick now. Very fashionable. Oh my god. Cool stuff. All right, well, here we are. I know it's not Rick. I'm really upset. I'll affectionately name it Rick. Anyway, we're here for the album streams, but favorite albums of the year. As I mentioned, I loved Red Velvet. There's still a group that I listen to pretty regularly. But I gotta give a shout out to Unhi. They had recommended Sunkiss to watch on stream. I think we also watched maybe potentially Existential Crisis. I can't remember, but I went through and listened to this release a ton after we did that, and I feel like there have been some albums that I enjoyed more this year, but I wanted to give Wendy some love, and obviously I know she was just here recently, over this past probably couple months, I'd say, and so I had to give her a shout. But I really liked Hate Squared. Obviously loved her title track. Sunkiss was incredible too. But Hate Squared, I feel like this was one that I just enjoyed. I would highly recommend giving it a listen if you did not know that Wendy released a album recently. Definitely give it some love. But yeah, this is Hate Squared, so check it out.
I guess 나를 생각한 척해도 I hate that 날 짓눌러 들 안에 던져놓고 아닌 척 말해 I guess 난 내가 튀어나온 게 두려운 듯해 얌전히 제자리에 닫힌 채 대답하지 않길 Well Trust my intuition 내 안에 목소리 speaking 되새겨 Yes I'm strong 나는 소리쳐 I am beautiful I know what I really want 내 맘을 따라 색을 칠해 painting 삐뚤어진 목소리 튀워 Hate that, hate that, I hate that Yeah I know what you really want 네 바램은 구겨진 나의 say less 뻔 망설임없이 난 말해 Hate that, hate that, I hate that 힘이 들고 지쳐 쓰러져도 일어서 망설임 없이 crush 난 알아 you don't notice me You never know I trust myself 위험하고 가파른 땅 거친 바위를 디뎌 짙어진 안개와 비 내린 늪을 넘어서 날아 I'm so beautiful I know what I really want 내 맘을 따라 색을 칠해 painting 삐뚤어진 목소리 튀워 Hate that, hate that, I hate that Yeah I know what you really want 네 바램은 구겨진 나의 say less 뻔 망설임 없이 난 말해 Hate that, hate that, I hate that I know nothing stays the same 영원히 피어나는 꿈은 유용해 난 가만히 눈을 감고 그려온 꿈결을 따라 surfing 어둠은 날 멈추지 못해 Hate that, hate that, I hate Yeah I know
So
what you really want
incredible.
네 바램은 구겨진 나의 say less 뻔 망설임 없이 난 말해 Hate that, hate that, I hate that Hate, 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 hate
All right, very cool. This was Wendy's Hate Squared from her latest release, Cerulean Verge. Very nice. A couple comments here. Guggy says this album has some great songs. I would agree. Sonja says, love this song. Wendy rocks. Would also agree. He says, so far you're on trend where each song is better than the previous one. Ooh, very nice. Guggy says you just need Wendy to get everyone started dancing. That is true. That's true. And Cal says didn't hate that. I would also agree. This was great. Like I said, I feel like all of the songs on this release were really incredible. Again, big salutes to Sunkiss. I thought that was another incredible song on this release. But Hate Squared, I just feel like had like it's such a bright and happy song, like instrumentally, and even kind of like slightly in Wendy's delivery as well. But I just feel like the way that she like kind of teeters that line between like just like very happy, very major key tones, and like she's singing about like hating something, and it's just like the dichotomy of that is always very interesting to me, and I feel like she does a great job of like making you like strike that kind of interesting dynamic of emotions. So I felt like this one always stood out to me when I re-listened to this album, multiple times. I was just like, damn, this song just sticks out more and more. And I just love again that vibrancy of the song. I think Wendy, again, incredible vocalist. I should not be surprised. Red Velvet is an incredible group. But I feel like her voice just has like this really great bright tone that I've always really loved about her singing. But I felt like this song, especially when she hits that like bridge section and it kind of pops off a little bit vocally, is just incredible. So wanted to give it an honorable mention, certainly, because again, phenomenal vocalist, a phenomenal album, deserves some love. So I feel like I had to do it. So the next one and the final one of my honorable mentions, this one I came around to very recently as well. Big salutes to Sarah. They had got me into Ahoff. And I've been just recently jamming to The Passage a ton. I know we did do it on stream not too long ago. And it came out November 4th, so it didn't come out as long ago. So I feel like it didn't feel right to kind of put it in there, though I feel like there have been some exceptions to the rule, certainly. But I felt like this one I kind of came a little late on to. There were some other ones that I like as soon as we listened to it on stream, I raced and put some of these on here, and Ahoff was definitely one of those. So I definitely love that, and again, incredible release. If you have not checked out this group, please go do it. I feel like there has been honestly, there's a lot of boys groups on my list this year, and I'm a little surprised because I'm like, normally I feel like I'm usually a girls group stan, but this year had a lot of guys groups, which I'm very stoked about because there has been some really great releases this year. So, but yeah, phenomenal stuff. Please check out The Passage if you have not. Would highly recommend. Sarah says, dude, such a good album. Cal says, hell yeah. Sarah says, incredible. Now I'm wondering if we had the same favorite song on this album and our first Boys Planet group of the night. Yeah, that is true. That's true. The first and my favorite song, I feel like, goes without saying. I would have given it to Pinocchio, but I feel like Run at 1.5 Speed was just one I think I talked about very lovingly on stream, and I still love it so much, but we gotta re-listen to it again. I feel like this one was just one of those ones that I was like, oh damn, it just hits every time this comes on. I'm just like, this is such a fucking good song. So this is Run at 1.5 Speed by Ahoff. So let's check it out.
언제나 훌쩍 뛰어넘어 달려나가 한 발 두 발 세 발 네 발 더 빠르게 돌려 돌려 어느새 그 끝에 닿기를 Let's go 그 어디라 해도 더 숨이 차게 run it
So good.
run it 더 조금 더 빨리 오 꿈꿔온 그대로 날 보며 웃는 내게 가까이 1.5배속으로 달려 저 멀리 나뭇가진 순식간에 내 뒷자리 Every night every day 힘차게 속도를 내봐 그대로 또 아름다운 풍경과 이 길 끝에 함께 너와 나 쉬지도 않고 날 이끌어가 Yeah 계속 speed it up 지질수록 더 가속 더 붙여 Never end 닿지 말듯 결승전 넘어져도 다시 일어나봐 한 발 두 발 세 발 네 발 더 빠르게 돌려 돌려 어느새 너에게 가기를 Let's go 그 어디라 해도 더 숨이 차게 running I'm running 조금 더 빨리 오 꿈꿔온 그대로 날 보며 웃는 내게 가까이 1.5배속으로 달려 더 커진 꿈만큼 서둘러 계속 발끝을 멀리 내디뎌 Go for it all day 너를 향해 왠지 걸음이 느릿해지면 환한 너의 미소를 떠올려 Go for it all day 우릴 향해 Let's go 이 떨림 그대로 멈추지 않는 run
Their vocals in that section are so wild.
조금 더 빨리 꿈꿔온 그대로 날 보며 웃는 내게 가까이 1.5배속으로 달려 더 커진 꿈만큼 서둘러 계속 발끝을 많이 내디뎌 Go for it all day 조금 더 빨리 왠지 걸음이 느릿해지면 환한 너의 미소를 떠올려 Go for it all day 1.5배속으로 달려
All right, very cool. This was Run at 1.5 speed from Ahoff's The Passage that came out this year. Very nice, very nice. Let's see. Sarah says, yes, 100%. Kala says, still a Pinocchio stan, but this one hits so hard. I would also agree. Ahoff and Close Your Eyes just did a special stage of Fire for a year-end show, and it was killer. Love to see it. Jazz says, Boys Planet Summer was successful. Amen. Sarah said, love that. Yes, it was for sure. This is incredible. I think if you would like to see me talk at more length about this song, please go watch. I believe the album stream for this is out on YouTube. If not, it will be out. It is out on Patreon now already. But I love this release. This was so much fun. I cannot tell Sarah how many times I probably went back and listened to this release after. I definitely know that I had one morning. One morning I was in my car driving to work, and I listened to this song, and I was really getting into it in my drive because I was like sitting in traffic, and like the amount of stares that I got listening to this song in my own car, I'll never forget. But goddamn, is this a good song? So I was not mad, but this was so much fun. I think it's very bright, very much what I'm excited to see them do next. Honestly, I feel like they've first of all got an incredible group together. Their vocals sound phenomenal. I really love that chorus. I think that chorus is like probably one of the catchier choruses on my top list this year. Just so infectious, so much fun. And I just feel like they kind of encapsulate a lot of the things that I like about like those really bright, fun, like guys groups. So I feel like this song is just so good. And honestly, the whole album is fantastic. It is really hard for me to pick a favorite between, Run and Pinocchio, but I feel like just Run is just like the living embodiment of joy. So I feel like I had to pick this one. But just outside, I think if I had like another week or so with it, I genuinely think it could have cracked my top 20, but I feel like for me it was so hard and literally down to the wire. I was rearranging some like names and songs and stuff on the list, and I really had I was really toying with putting them on as in the at least the 20th slot. So this was tough. This was tough for sure, but that is not disrespect to them. I feel like they put up a phenomenal release. If I had more time with them, I think it would have been up higher, certainly. So Cal says LMAO, live your truth. Sarah says LOL, and Jazz says LOL. Everyone's laughing. Hey, listen, y'all know if you get into a song, man, it you be getting into it, you know. So I can't be the only one, chat, that just gets into it in the car, you know. So all right, we're getting to the serious shit now. We're in the top 20. I take this very seriously. But this one was tough. I feel like for me, I had to put this person at number 20 because I did listen to this album a lot earlier on in the year. It kind of fell off, and then obviously because of this albums of the year list, I came back to it and I was like, damn, this was so good. But my number 20th pick is Baekhyun's newest release, Essence of Reverie. And my favorite song off that release was Chocolate. I first of all, I know we did do XO, I believe, this past year. Shout outs to Biscuit. But I really loved, and I really, again, kind of fixated on Baekhyun's newest release. And I was like, it really had me in a hard time to pick a favorite off this release. But I just felt like Chocolate, man. As soon as I listened to it, I was just like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, this one just clicked, and I was so here for it. Elevator was also incredible as a title track, but damn, like, this was so much fun. It's got like that little, like, I feel like is what I expect Baekhyun to do, and I love like kind of like his R&B flavor that he brings to this release. It's so much fun. So if you have not, go check out Baekhyun of EXO fame. Incredible artist. But we're gonna listen to Chocolate because that was my favorite. So let's give it a spin.
Sweet chocolate, I just keep missing it. Insane how you talk to me. You're so sweet and bitter, time to time. You're my chocolate. 누가 내릴 듯하고만 기분. Freshening like a mint. How many flavors are you left? 넌 다 아는 듯이 나를 보고서 조금씩 번져와서 나를 얼어버리게. Just the same with the music. 나와 눈 맞춰줘, babe. And I just wanna know what it's supposed to take. 지금 달려가고 있어 next step. Love is sweet all plan. And I try this feel. Bring some spice to the game. 나에게 다가와도 돼 이제. 그 말대로 믿어. 너만이 나를 채워주는 유일한 사랑인걸. So sweet chocolate, I just keep missing it. Insane how you talk to me. You're so sweet and bitter, time to time. You're my chocolate. 누가 내릴 듯하고만 기분. Freshening like a mint. How many flavors are you left? Baby, I gotta know you better. 천천히 나에게 다 알려주면 돼. 아는 give me a list. 좋아하는 음식부터 너의 playlist. That's me till cinnamon shorty gon' kick. 뭐든지 너와 함께면 매일 새로워. I still can't see through, yeah. To cover yonder, yeah. 지금 달려가고 있어 next step. The love is sweet all plan. And I try this feel. Bring some spice to the game. 내게 다가와도 돼 이제. 그 말대로 믿어. 너만이 나를 채워주는 유일한 사랑인걸. So sweet chocolate, I just keep missing it. Insane how you talk to me. You're so sweet and bitter, time to time. You're my chocolate. 누가 내릴 듯하고만 기분. Freshening like a mint. 자꾸만 빠져드는 걸. Like a chocolate.
Every time that part comes in.
Chocolate. Like a chocolate.
All right, very cool. This was Beckyun's Chocolate from Essence of Reverie. Very nice. This is what, again, I feel like I'll reference Juny again. Listen, a Juny Beckyun collab. I don't know if I'll put it out in the universe. That would be incredible. But I feel like to me, this is like kind of what evokes that like that K-R&B vibe. Like I really have been put onto that over the past couple years, and I think the type of music that comes out of it is just so good. Um, and to me, I feel like there's just levels to this song that I really appreciate. Like the song starts out so good, but I feel like there's just like elements of the song that just kind of build and build. You hear like different like elements of the song in the second verse that kind of add like a little bit of like transientness to the song that I like more like of those like really interesting like synth tones and stuff. And I think there's just like a lot of building blocks in this song that I appreciate. Even on the side of like the vocals, Baekhyun adds like a lot more like ad libs and stuff towards the end of the song, and like was doing some like insane runs towards the end as well too. And I think to me it hits an interesting mark of like the beginning of the song's great, and then by the end of it, you're just like, damn, this was like really thought out. And I think everything that kind of is put in place with some of these moments is just so fun. I love that kind of like again the like pots and pans or like different like very I guess obscure, not I guess it's not obscure in K-pop because I think they use pretty much any weird like sample in a good way obviously to make a song interesting, but like I love those kind of like those like pots, like pans, like interesting sorts of sounds that make it really diverse. And every time I come back to this release, and again more currently, I feel like Chocolate just stands out more and more to me. So I think to me it's a great song to lead off the album with, certainly. And I think it obviously highlights his vocals. There's like a little bit of a rap section, if you could call it that, from Baekhyun as well too. So I think to me it kind of covers all the bases for me of like having great vocals, but also like being able to do like those really fun like vocal riffing as well too, and like having like that little bit of rapping section in the song, and just think it's so much fun. So shout outs to Baekhyun. Really cool shit. Obviously to just make it into the top 20 cut. So love to see it. Cal and Jazz both said hell yeah to Baekhyun, and Sarah says, I mean, Juny wrote a bunch for Super M, so it's possible. Listen, it would be sick. I think their voices would meld very well together. So hopefully. All right. Well, the next one I think may come as a little bit of an interesting choice, but I will say I have listened to this release a lot, and for it to beat out Baekhyun, which came out on the 19th, I feel like says a little bit about my more current listening habits. But I feel like it goes without saying I had to throw on the X Love album. I really loved it when we listened to it on stream, and I still did go through and listen to it. And to me, it was just it was just a fun release. Like from front to back, it was like such an interesting vibe. You know what I mean? Like I think the Bip was very interesting. I did go back and listen to that one a bunch. But I did really enjoy it. I think it did grow on me. Like I thought it was going to. There were songs that did get better for me. Briz, I feel like still hits super hard. My stance has not changed on that. Dirty Baby, I feel like I kind of like more. I know I did definitely come around to Bip. Honestly, that one is really good. But I gotta say, like, Kiss and Say Goodbye, probably if I didn't pick Scent as my favorite, I think Kiss and Say Goodbye would have been a very close second, which is weird because it's like the lowest played song on streaming. But that was great. Drip's incredible. But I feel like Scent, when I listened to that song, it was just like it was love at first sight, man. Like it was so good, and I kept listening to it, and I still kind of got that great feeling of listening to music. And to me, I feel like Scent still remains. I feel like if anything, if I had more time, I'm sure it would probably, again, very similarly to Ahoff, I feel like it could have rose the ranks a little bit more, but Scent was just phenomenal. I feel like that goes without saying. So very, very cool. Cal says, oh, Sarah says, amen. Andy says, ooh. Cal says, another win. Second boys group of the night. Sarah says, I think I've indoctrinated Brandon. You, listen, time will tell. Cal says, I have to update that Riz definitely dropped in the ranks for me since then. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. But I will say, I feel like again stayed pretty much on that list for me. But Sen, I feel like has only kind of I've only appreciated it more and more as I've listened to it. So let's get into Sun then. And it would make sense because I love Juny, so I just am a Juny stan at the end of the day.
Baby anxious just been natural 황홀해 오늘 I get it loose yeah. Let me touch it let me taste it take it slow 너와 난 빠져들지 I don't wanna lie wanna say I can no Oh bad I could never try 피어난 향기 follow So back come and just show me what you made it Make it make sense It makes sense You and I just dance for night yeah, yeah. Innocent Deep instant Just break me in 너무 들여놔 For the night Guess we gon' take it really far 천천히 들이쉬는 순간 Yeah Your 끝은 taste 펼쳐보는 wishlist 아득한 네 love scent 번져오는 너 You make me thirsty 거부 못할 toxic give me oh yeah 녹아내릴 듯해 oh, Can't get enough Way you're pulling up 네 안에 so drunk Baby I don't know if I can't get enough Diamonds in the rough Baby go and just show me what you're made of Yeah make it make sense It makes sense You and I just dance for night Yeah yeah Innocent Deep inside Just breathe me in 너무 들여놔
All right, very cool. This was X Love's Scent from their latest release, Unlove. Very cool, very cool. Gunga says you corrupted. No, this is free will. This is this. You know, I have chosen. Sarah did not bias me in any way. So, Sarah says, Brandon likes Scent and Riz. Wonder who wrote those. Yeah. Listen, I said I'm a Juny stan through and through, so I'm here for it. Jazz says so good. I would agree. If you'd like more deeper thoughts on this song, again, go check out the album review I did of this. But I think that this song just kind of gets better and better over time. But I really enjoyed kind of like the vocal riffing. I think there was a lot of cool moments in this song that I know I didn't pick up on first listen. And then as you kind of like go through and and dive more into the song. Like I loved a lot of like the airiness of the vocals. I feel like they all carry themselves very well as vocalists. And there's just like kind of a effortlessness to their tone and like the way that they sing in the song, and I love that. I also think that something a little bit, I guess, more dialed in, a little bit more, a little bit more thought out. I love like kind of like the rim shot tone of the snare that they used in the second verse. I don't know why, but every time that I get into that second verse, it just hits. There's just something about it. I think again, it has a lot to do with kind of like I know Juny and Pac Odd were the composers, but I think that they really utilize like the space in the song. There's like a little bit of reverb, like it just has like a very interesting like dynamic piece to the song. And while like the rest of the thing kind of has like this beautiful like effortlessness, I think there is like this really interesting like meter in terms of time where like the rim shot hits perfectly onto like the next like bar of the song. I feel like that is extremely intentional. If not just, if it wasn't intentional, then it's extremely on point, and maybe again, maybe more on like a kind of BPM or like time signature basis. But there's just something about that section of the song in the second verse that I think just always comes out strong and like dynamically interesting to me. And again, I liked a lot of the vocal ad libs towards the end of Sen. I think again, I know I mentioned it before in the X Lub commentary, but they really have some great vocals, and I think this one kind of utilizes them in a way that I don't think you would get with Riz, which is cool. So I love the kind of different vocal interplays through this song, and I really appreciate it. So very, very nice. Gunky says brainwashing comes across as I listen, I spent my time with these albums. I genuinely tried to do my best to spend as much time as I could. So, um, Sarah says I love XF and will die for them. You're on your that's listen, I get it. Very, very cool. The next one, this one was great. I honestly like loved listening to this release, and when it first came out, I listened to it a bunch. Very similarly to Becky, I think it actually in a similar fashion. Um, but it's Chungha's latest release, Alivio, which I love Chungha. If those who are unfamiliar, Chungha is one of my ultimate biases. So I feel like obviously got to give her some love, but I really enjoyed the release. I feel like again, it kind of flew on. I would imagine I didn't really see it talked about too much. It did come out at the beginning of this year, so I mean, I think probably that could have just gotten swamped with again so many other releases, but obviously had to put her on my list. I genuinely think that there are, in my opinion, and I hope that people don't take this in an offensive way, but there are definitely Chungha records that I liked more than this one. But I do feel like this one had some really great songs on the record. I'll give another shout outs to the other favorite of mine off this release, which was Salty, which features Sunmi, which is an incredible vocalist as well too. But my favorite on this album, excluding the title track, Stress, I really loved Creepin'. I feel like that song was really, really good to start this release off with. And every time I went back and listened to this again, tried to do my best to listen to all of these in a very concise way. But I felt like Creepin' was that song for me that I came back to. I was like, damn, this is such a good one. So let's see what we got. Sarah says, again, big some of these I feel like are predictable. Some of them I think I don't know if chat's gonna predict on some of these, which I'm excited about. Callus is another great pick. Jazz says the Queen. I would agree. Gucky says this is such a surprise, and Sarah says Chungha and Sumi a killer combo. I would also agree. But let's check out Creepin'. The vibes are here. The Queen is here. Let's give it a listen.
Oh no 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 no, yeah. Oh no, yeah.
All right. This was Chungha's Alivio and her song Creepin'. Very nice. Um again, I think this was such a cool kind of crash course in like vocal layering. I just again, her voice is so fun. I feel like I obviously say that heavily biased to her vocal tone, but I love the way it's kind of staggered out. There's like really cool building aspects of the song, like you can kind of hear her like main vocals, then later on you kind of hear like a different kind of punch or tone to her voice, and it's just so much fun. There's a lot of cool like production aspects to the song, like the panning. I think a lot of the beats, it has like this very like 360 like vocal quality to it that I really like. Even though the beat I feel like is very stationary in the song, like her voice kind of feels like it kind of like moves around you in this song. So shout outs to obviously produced this song. They did a phenomenal job, and like I think to me it kind of makes the song feel very interesting and very engaging in that aspect. So I love that. Um the way that like this chorus hits in the song, I think is incredible. Um I also love that kind of like almost vocal break, like into like a little bit of a falsetto tone that Chungha does. So good. Um and I think that to me, like a lot of those elements are just so satisfying to the ear. So I think to me this one is so good in that aspect. And every time that this album kind of repeats in me listening to it from front to back, I feel like I'm always excited to listen to Creepin' again, because I'm just like, wow, there's just so much cool layering and so much interesting thing going on with it. I would love to kind of like, I don't think I will ever get the stems of this song, but it would be cool to just see how like the production style on the song is like put together, because um I imagine it just kind of like required a lot of crafting, a lot of figuring out like where the vocals sit in the mix of the song. So I feel like this is just so much fun as a listening experience, and I'm sure uh I'm put as to putting it together, it may have been a little bit more of a potential nightmare, but I think the final result was really well put together, excuse me. So great stuff there. Sarah says, so good. Sonja says, this song is just so satisfying. I agree. So, very nice. Very nice. Again, check out Chungha if you have not. Love her. So, all right. Well, this one was a little bit of a different pick. I feel like I always, every year when we come down to this, I always feel like I have a hard time placing like K bands. Do they fit in K-pop? Do they fit in like their own category? And I think like I'm pretty sure last year I put a lot of like the K band stuff on my albums of the year for like in that K-pop, just because they're under the same umbrella. But I feel like that kind of goes without saying, and maybe it kind of shows my pick off slightly. But this one at number 17 for me was NFlying's Everlasting. I had an absolute bomb checking out this album on stream. And then I proceeded to listen to it many more times after stream. And I feel like every time that I've gone through and listened to this album, I just get more and more floored at how good it is. But I really enjoyed this album so much. There was so many good songs, and I think to me, I like closed my eyes and was like, which which one's my favorite, because I was so torn on this. But I think I ultimately landed on my favorite, which was Mobius. I feel like out of all the songs I went back and listened to, I feel like Mobius was that one that I was always like, every time it came on, I was just like, fuck yeah, like Mobius is on, let's go. You know what I mean? So I think whatever, I feel like when I pick favorites, it's like what inspires the most joy. And I feel like Mobius was that song where every time it came on, I was just like, just so elated that I could listen to it. And like, even though it's not a new listening experience, going through and listening to it every time, it just like, it almost feels like it's about as close of, I feel like, as approximation of listening to it like with brand new ears every time So I love going through and listening to this. Like I said, no diss to the rest of the songs on this album. They were all really incredible again, but Mobius was that song for me. So definitely loved it. There were other songs certainly in contention, but it was a tough choice. It was a tough choice. So Kala says yes. Jazz says and flying. Yes, yes, yes. Gogi says, love this album. It's a top 5 for me. Andy says, ooh, Biscuit said so good. And Gogi says, 100% agree with you on this song. Mobius and Everlasting are my favorites on this album. Yes, Everlasting was also incredible. Great title track. But Mobius won my heart. So let's check it out.
처음으로 돌아왔어 다시 여기야 몇 번째인지 몰라 그치 전처럼 웃고 있지만 해진 신발처럼 정말 아파 거지 같은 내 꿈 더 별의 주인이 될 거라 했지 아무도 믿지 않아도 돼 우린 함께 있잖아 떨어지는 별에 내 맘 가득 싣고 멈춰버린 이 시간에 닿길 빌어 나의 세상을 내게 줄게 오직 너 하나만이 나를 기억하게 할 뿐이야 너와 함께여서 유독 오늘은 많이 헷갈릴 거야 걱정 마늘 네 뒤에 있어 비어가 눈부신 저 행성을 더 넘어 아주 먼 하수로 믿지 않아도 돼 우린 함께 있잖아 떨어지는 별에 내 맘 가득 싣고 멈춰버린 이 시간에 닿길 빌어 나의 세상을 내게 줄게 오직 너 하나만이 나를 기억하게 할 뿐이야 너와 함께여서 너와 나는 계속
This bridge gets me every time too. I love this bridge. So good.
많이 돌아가겠지만 내겐 가장 빛나는 너를 계속 따라갈 뿐이야 떨어지는 별에 내 맘 가득 싣고 멈춰버린 이 시간에 닿길 빌어 나의 세상을 내게 줄게 오직 너 하나만이 나를 기억하게 할 뿐이야 너와 함께여서 너와 함께여서 많이 돌아가겠지만 내겐 가장 빛나는 너를 계속 따라갈 뿐이야 너와 함께여서
Oh, man. All right. This was Mobius from NFing's latest album, Everlasting. This is an absolute treat, as I mentioned before. Just an incredible album. I think this song just again continues to get better and better for me. There's just like the chorus is so catchy. The like melody, like da da da, like I can't even sing it because it's I don't want to fuck it up. But like the melody of that chorus just hits so well, and like there's just such a dynamic like I don't know. There's just something in like there's just something that grabs a hold of my like heart in that chorus. It just is so like melodically memorable, and I can't. I genuinely like try to think of songs that have that sort of tug on me. I feel like Mobius is like again, all of these albums have something that I think connects me to the music more, and I just really love that. The bridge is also phenomenal in this song, like really, really open, really dynamic. But I think they take full range of what NFing is capable of as a collective, and I really feel like I personally feel like they have set the bar very high for themselves for their next release. Not to put any pressure on them certainly, but I just feel like with each album, like there's just what like I feel like they just continue to like snowball songs. They're just so incredible, so well written. Like you think that they have run out of like great melody choices or things of that nature. Not that I ever feel that way, but like I feel like inherently you're gonna run out of things to kind of write about, or you're gonna run out of things to kind of like push yourself as a band and as vocalists and instrumentalists and all that sort of stuff. But I think that they have overwhelmingly continued to push themselves and make just so much interesting and fun music that I think inspires me to like pick my instrument up more and more, and really try to like push my craft that much more. So thank you, NFing. I'm sure you get that a lot, certainly, but there just is so wow. There's just so many incredible moments in the song. So love to see it. Gunky says I had two songs of the year 2 years in a row. Wow, there you go. Let's go. Would love that for NFing. Sounds great. So very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, the next one on 16. This one I think is I feel like it kind of comes with a slight caveat. Stray Kids released 2 releases this year. Do It, I feel like I did not have enough time to really bake in a little bit more for me, but I will say Karma, and I think I mentioned it more recently on stream, but I feel like that album has definitely ingrained itself more into me. And I just really loved it. I mean, obviously I know everybody has their opinions on Ceremony, certainly, and hey, that's is what it is. But I would say a lot of these other songs on this release were really good. And so I feel like I had to put it on my list for favorites this year. I think also it had to do with seeing them this year live. I think it was really, I mean, obviously, it was an extremely memorable experience, for better and for worse, certainly. But I did really enjoy this release a ton. And I think overwhelmingly more so than like their like as of current stuff. I did also really enjoy Do It as well. But again, I feel like I feel like to me, I feel like I didn't give Do It enough love just because it came out so recently. But that's when I had a lot of time to sit with and really think about. And they're just an incredible group. Again, I hope that I could see them in a better performance light, certainly. Not that they were bad performers at all, but circumstantially it was a tough show. So I hope that I could see them at peak Stray Kids performance next time. But my favorite off this release was actually Ghost. That one, I think when I first went through and listened to this entire album, Ghost was that one song I feel like that stood out to me the most on this release. And every time I've come back, I feel like I've just enjoyed this song more and more. So I put Ghost as my favorite from this list. So Sarah says, very good album. Gungi says the Japanese release was actually my favorite Stray Kids release this year. That's fair. Hey. And Sarah says, memorable is one way you could describe it. Yeah. And Gungi says, I love the Hollow EP. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, we're going to get into Ghost first. So let's give it a listen.
I've been doing this my whole life. Stuck inside my head, got no time. I just wanna reach that prime time. Don't wanna see another deadline. There's no day, night, yeah. I can see my body getting light. Yeah, I just don't know what to say, cause to this day I'm still astray. Yeah, I just don't think I can make it, and this rain is still in pain. I know I wanna feel the rays of sunlight, fill my empty space. Yeah, I just don't know what to say. I lost my way. I 그들은 내가 떴대 지금 난 그저 붕 떠 있는데 여태껏 날려와는 차원이 다른 버뮤다 삼각지대 나 자신을 위함과 해함이 공존케 하는 그들의 기대 난 그 누구도 만족 못한다면 이제 어디게 돼 I ain't got no energy I'm feeling dead inside Too much of this, too much of that I'm overloaded this time Yeah, I just don't know what to say Cause to this day I'm still astray Yeah, I just don't think I can make it Endless rain, I'm still in pain I know I wanna feel the rays of sunlight Fill my empty space Yeah, I just don't know what to say I lost my way I feel like I'm a ghost I'm out of my mind I don't know why I'm lost in space and time I feel like I'm a ghost I say that I'm fine I'm gone Rendezvous with the deja vu Repeated blues Yeah, the world's so cruel Howling through when the time is due I don't know what to say Just pray that I'm okay Yeah, I just don't know what to say Cause to this day I'm still astray Yeah, I just don't think I can make it Endless rain, I'm still in pain I know I wanna feel the rays That's all I feel my empty space Yeah, I just don't know what to say I lost my way
All right, very cool. This was Ghost from Stray Kids off their album Karma. Very nice. Couple comments here. Let's see. Kala also agreed, loved the Hollow EP, and also said they've been releasing so many bangers lately. Yes, they have. They've been on an iconic run, certainly. And Sarah's is my favorite Skiz song this year. Very nice, very nice. I like I said, love Ghost. I think first of all, Changbin Bae, so I loved his like rap section in this song. Super sick. But I think like to me, along with like the rapping that they do in this song, I love the hook of the chorus. Like I just think it's so memorable. It's very melodic. Um Again, it's got that like R&B flavor to it that I appreciate. But I love like the synth tones. Like I feel like they're very bright, like very similarly to like Ceremony. Like I think it's a little bit more like subdued, but still kind of has that sort of like amplification that I feel like Ceremony had. So I love that they kind of dialed it in a little bit more and kind of made it a little bit more I don't want to say palatable because that really makes it sound like it's a terrible. It makes it sound like Ceremony is a terrible song, but I do feel like they dialed it back a little bit more, and so I appreciate the kind of structure of the song, and like I think the way that they put the members were very methodical in this song too. Like I feel like a lot of the songs I'm just like, ooh, okay, like this is a cool section, but like there's definitely moments of the song where I was like, ooh, you know what, like Felix would be really cool in like that like ladder like bridge section, and then like was surprised to find out that surprised to find out that he fit perfectly in that section. And so I think it was really kind of a test on like where can they put them all together, where does it make sense, and I feel like Ghost was like kind of the perfect storm of everything. Like there's definitely like in my head I'm like, oh, this would be a really great section for like this member. Like obviously Bangchan was incredible in the rap section, so we gotta include him there. So to me, I think it just kind of again brought about a different sort of vibe, and I love that. And then as well as that, just kind of speaking collectively for the album, I do feel like Ceremony, like I will say there was definitely some moments, especially in that chorus, where I feel like it is a little bit like a little bit more in your face and different. But I just feel like they always tend to turn around for me. I feel like a lot of the Stray Kids releases, like I'm always like, damn, this is so good. And I know we checked out like a good bit of the Japanese stuff on stream as well too, and I've enjoyed their Japanese discography as well. So yeah, they're having a really great run this year, and obviously I hope that kind of continues on into 2026. But this was a great record, and obviously Do It is incredible as well. I just feel like, again, I haven't had as much time to sit with it, but was just really, really good. So like I said, between those two is really tough, but I feel like this one stood out to me just because I've had the opportunity to listen to it a little bit more. So Kogi says Ceremony isn't terrible, I just don't like the chorus. That's fair. Cal says love Ceremony, but not one of my favorite releases of theirs. That's also fine as well too. Sarah says I just haven't understood JYP's choice for Stray Kids Korean title tracks recently, because the albums are so good, but often the title tracks are the weakest songs on it. I could see that. The real question is why JYP or Stray Kids themselves are selecting the title tracks. I was gonna say it definitely could be their management company. I know, just I guess to kind of give a peer in the looking glass, I know that they do go through multiple like I know the band pitches some. Obviously I'm using band inner terms with like Stray Kids, but um I know there is kind of a combination of like management, the label, obviously the group kind of coming to a collective decision on what they feel like might be best to be a title track. Now, I don't know how much of a position that the groups either have or also like the label has on what's going to get pushed out. I feel like whoever really has the final say is usually the one that has the most weight. I would guess probably the label has a bigger say on that. So I would say JYP as a collective, I think maybe has more of a pull on that answer. But I would imagine if, they're, especially considering how big they are as a group, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a pretty big like sway on, obviously what songs get picked for title tracks and what songs don't. So it is very interesting. But Goki says, I've heard ITZY talking about members themselves rejecting tracks to put on an album. Yep, I could see that. But I mean, also at the end of the day, it could be, a part of their contract too as well. So I think it's unfortunately, how some of those contracts are laid out and what they're willing to kind of push or not push in terms of releases. So, and sometimes there's songs that do better, just on paper, and so it could be that too as well. But Sarah says, I just heard the opposite, where BTS members literally punched walls because they hated the music they were forced to put out. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think it's different. I think it's always a different way of like the contract. Unfortunately, the contract listing of like different groups, right? I think because K-pop is such a big industry, I would not be surprised if there were some, again, I'm going to say allegedly, I would not be surprised if there were some things that were maybe more hurtful to the artist than it was to the actual label themselves. Because at the end of the day, labels are all about making money. So, the more revenue that they could put into it, that's, the more they're going to get out of it. So, maybe they're going to choose a song that is a little bit more friendly Westernly versus, in Korea or Japan or what have you. So it is interesting. I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot of deeper information that I'm sure we don't know about, that it comes down to like K-pop groups and stuff, because I can only speak for bands and what I've seen personally firsthand. But it is an interesting thing. And I think if you ever want to know about that sort of stuff, I think like music law is such an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Because man, there is some predatory practices in music that I personally don't have enough time to dive into myself, but I've seen it. So Gangi says, of course, earlier in career, typically the labels determine all the songs released. Yeah, that is true. But then as it snowballs, it gets more interesting. Cookie says, artists and record labels are always trying to select the title tracks they think will blow up, and many times they pick the wrong song. Yep. I mean, That is usually true. So, very interesting. Anyway, we're here for album reviews. But if you would like me to go down that rabbit hole at some point, I'll be more than glad to. It seems very interesting and potentially has piqued my interest as well. So, all right. Well, we're moving on. Number 15. This I feel like getting into like the 15s, the 10s, like this is where it gets difficult for me. And I really was again having a hard time. Number 15 to me was QWER's latest release, In a Million Noises. I'll Be Your Harmony. I did go back and listen to this a ton. I really loved Dear. God, can I not type tonight? I really loved Dear, and man, the whole release is just incredible. I remember I think we stayed. Somebody had come into chat. I think it was Jerry. Came into chat and they said like, "Hey, Dear just came out," and I was like, "Well, we're already here. We gotta listen to it." And then I just remember after listening to that, I just like went in and just listened to like the release over and over and over and over. And still true. I went back and listened to it. Still hits. I feel like Dear is an incredible song. If I feel like I had to give that an honorable mention as well, great song, but it wasn't my pick. I really loved Overdrive on this release. I think this song was so good. Obviously, hashtag QWER was great. Be Happy was incredible too, but Overdrive was like that song in the middle of the release that I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is such a good song. So very excited. I will preface that they're not the only K band on this list, and there have been some that I already talked about, and there are some that I haven't talked about yet. So, but QWER is incredible. If you have not checked them out, go give them some love. But this is Overdrive, so let's give it a spin.
저기 태양의 막이 오르고 차갑던 달빛을 걷어내면 마음 한켠에 불꽃이 피어나 뜨거워진 심장과 두 손에 퍼진 떨림 오늘을 기다려왔다는 듯 울린 소리가 들려 고요 속에 나지막한 이 호흡은 떠올린 마저 리듬을 만들어 그래 지금 내 상태는 overdrive Break the limit Burn the silence 타오르는 심장박동 한껏 느껴 이 전율 Break the limit Burn the silence 타오르는 태양 너머 더 높이 날아갈 수 있게 Yeah, we never give up 과열된 심장이 타올라 번질 때까지 커져가는 박동과 두 손의 이 떨림도 더 이상 기다릴 수 없다고 말하는 듯이 울려 끝까지 차오르는 이 호흡과 내 오늘 가리는 이 땀방울 지금이야 밟아버려 overdrive Break the limit Burn the silence 타오르는 심장박동 한껏 느껴 이 전율 Break the limit
All right, very cool. This was QWER from their third mini album, In a Million Noises, I'll Be Your Harmony. This is the song Overdrive. Um, Couple comments here. Let's see. Gunky says this album is so good. I love it. Dear is a top 25 K-pop song of the year for me. And this is a top album for me. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Sarah says, "Oh, we know how I feel about drum and bass." Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, this is incredible. I feel like to me, this song, and just the album in general really gets better and better the more I listen to it, and like obviously, I feel like there's a certain point where I like have to cut it off, just for just semblance sake for these releases. But this was just such an incredible album release. Like, I think genuinely all of the songs are just incredible. QWER is just an awesome group, which I'm glad to we discovered here on the show. But just like this song is so much fun. I think it kind of combines like again those sort of rock elements that I feel like they bring to the table, but this also includes like drum and bass. There's like dubstep moments in the song. Like, it's really fun, and I think like the dynamics of the song in terms of like the electronics are so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's interesting to kind of compare this against Dear, which again is another phenomenal song for a different reason. But I think this is just so much fun, super dynamic. I love how like strong the vocal presence of the song is too. I think it matches up well with like the energy of the song. I love like kind of like the distortion of the synth. I think it kind of again plays against that really kind of bright shimmery tones of QWER, so that's really cool. And then I like in some the moments of the song where it kind of blends that moment of like them being a band but also incorporating like heavy electronic elements in the song. I think to me it kind of matches those sort of interesting dynamic frequencies about the track. So I really love that. I think it's aptly named Overdrive. Like it's just so much fun. And every time it comes on, especially on this release, I'm just like always stoked because it just feels so good. Like it's just such a fun listening experience, and I think this year, at least for me, has been, you know especially within K-pop songs, is like what are songs that kind of just drive my like love of music. What makes me appreciate what they do, or like what about this album or this song on this album that just really makes me appreciate their artistry and craftsmanship. And so I feel like to me like Overdrive kind of meets those two thoughts in the middle, where it's like very much a QWER song, but also like pulls in that like really beautiful electronic resonance. So I love that. So really great song. Honestly, you couldn't go wrong with any of the songs on this release, but Overdrive is definitely that one for me, certainly. So very, very nice. All right. Gunky says I'm expecting Lucy, Extraordinary Heroes, One We on your list. Ooh, okay. Good choices. Good choices. Well, we're keeping it moving. The next one on my favorites at number 14 is VVZ's first album, a montage of my favorite song was Toxic. We did cover this one, but I gotta say, man, like I never had been particularly sleeping on this group, but I gotta say, goddamn, this album so good. I think this is just from front to back a phenomenal release. And so it was so much fun to listen to. It was such a like I love all of the members of VVZ. I think they're all really incredible. The La La Love Me song is awesome as well. Great title track. But man, we listened to this from front to back on stream, and I just couldn't be more over the moon about this album. So I feel like again, if it did not make my top list, I would have been surprised, honestly. But this was chef's kiss, so good. So, um, very very nice. Calla says yes, incredible release. Gunky says we all know how much you love them. Agreed. Calla says one of my top albums for sure of 2025. Very nice, very nice. All right, well, let's get into Toxic. I'm pretty sure, shout outs to Sally. I'm pretty sure Sally recommended this on one of our album streams eons ago. And I got to give them a shout out because honestly, this is definitely climbed their ranks because we listened to it on stream and I'm glad we did. So appreciate you, Sally. But let's get into Toxic.
새로운 play 버리기 순간 Let me see your close eyes so that trust me 전에 없던 모든 감각을 깨워 I'm waking you and you're gonna love me Come here 심장이 터질 듯 Stay here 참 느껴보는 feeling 알아 이미 넌 낯선 감각에 홀린 듯 chasing 번지는 everywhere 눈부신 그 빛에 손끝으로 당겨 zoom in Just follow me I want you Want to step it up Come follow me I want you 내게 이끌어 So bright it shines I'm glowing 난 넌 아직 Don't real me Break you 또 빠져들어 깊이 Toxic I'm a toxic girl Take you 헤어날 수 없이 Toxic I'm a toxic girl Keep slow 널 파고드는 직감 끝도 없이 내게 deep dive 작은 손짓도 거대한 파도같이 You wanna feel this love 네 맘에 stealing when you are with me 네 모든 기준들을 바꿔 Flowing freely 너를 전부 삼켜가 You 위험하다고 멈출 수 없잖아 You're the way 선명한 everywhere 모든 걸 잊게 해그 눈 속에 담긴 view Just follow me I want you Want to step it up Come follow me I want you 내게 이끌어 So bright it shines I'm glowing now 넌 아직 Don't hear me I read your mind I come through you 속을 유용해 It's different addiction 독처럼 퍼지는 순간 Oh can you keep up Can you really be mine Just follow me I want you Want to step it up Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it up Come follow me I want you 내게 이끌어 So bright it shines I'm glowing now 넌 아직 Don't real me Rock you 또 빠져들어 깊이 Toxic I'm a toxic girl Take you 헤어날 수 없이 Toxic I'm a toxic girl Rock you 내 작은 본능까지 Toxic I'm a toxic girl Take you 유일한 이 느낌 Toxic I'm a toxic girl
All right, very cool. This was VVZ's A Montage of, and the song is Toxic. Very nice. I will say I feel like this. There is a couple adjectives. I obviously as I described it on stream when we listened to the album, but I think there was a new one that I came up with, and it was like every time this song comes on, I love just like the glitteriness of the song. Like there's just a very cool like shimmer to the song, and I feel like to me like I feel like there's been like a gap in my listening experience where like I knew I listened to a lot of like New Jeans, and not to say that their sounds are obviously comparable in that aspect, but I wasn't able to find a girls group that I feel like kind of fit that mold of like, you know, songs that kind of again hit that sort of vibe for me in the most current landscape. But I felt like this song was about as close as I could get, and every time I came back and listened to it, I just like really enjoyed the vibe. Obviously, I think the rest of the album doesn't speak for this song certainly, but to me it kind of filled a gap in my listening habits that I feel like I was missing out on. So I appreciate that VVZ filled that New Jeans hole in my heart with this song. It's so gorgeous. I think, like, again, their vocals are incredible. Traditionally I am a Sin B bias, but Eunji and Unha are also incredible in the song as well too. And I think, if anything, I've appreciated their vocal tones even more so as I've gone through and listened to more of VVZ's catalog. But they're just an incredible group. I think that they really kind of bring a lot of like fun, different pop elements and like different kind of vibe to their music, and obviously could be told in their solo songs. But just such a fun release. Like I said, I think this one just continues to stand out. I go back and listen to it pretty often, and it's so good. So had to be on the list, had to break the top 15 for me. Just I couldn't imagine not putting this on my list. So Kagi says, I don't believe they're tags. They probably, I mean, I wouldn't think they were beat, but who knows? Kagi says, what members do I buy these in VVZ? All of them. Yeah, exactly. I only say Sin B because I know in G Friend I loved Sin B. But in VVZ, I think I think I like all of them. They're all really sick. So shout outs to VVZ. All right. Well, we're keeping it moving. This is what we're getting into. All right. We're getting into the weeds a little bit. Number 13 is Close Your Eyes, Blackout, and their song X. Close Your Eyes, they were going on a generational run for me. I listened to I listened to a lot of their releases, but to me, like, the past couple albums they've done, it was very hard for me to choose a favorite from them. Snowy Summer was great, Eternal Alt was great, but when Blackout came out, I listened to this a ton. I still listen to it a lot now. It was really hard for me to pick between my favorites. I really like 2.0. Chic, I feel like it was a sleeper hit for me. I did really like that. Who's That was great, but X, man, when we listen to X on stream, I wish I could go back and re-listen to X again because I just really loved it. I think, to me, they've had a great run this year, and to have literally three releases come out in a year is insane. So hopefully they'll get some rest, but they've had in my opinion, I feel like they've had a generational run this year for me personally. So love that. But yeah, X off their Blackout EP was like instant. I knew it had to be on here. So Gungi said Simbi was my first bias. Very nice. Sarah says, I knew this was gonna be on here. Cal says, oh, interesting, and third Boys Planet group. The confidence in which you speak with, Sarah, I appreciate. I'm honestly surprised you didn't think it would be higher, to be fair. But all right, well, let's get into X. I'm sure at this point y'all have heard it, but we're gonna listen to it again.
손끝에 느껴지는 whiplash 돌아봐 turning back 남겨놓은 trace 흔들리는 네 눈빛 그 속에 우리 발괴는 대담해 어제 님이 interested No 고민하지 마 face it I don't care about any digits 멈춘 듯한 minute yeah on a must Like 4, 5, 8 yeah 깔아나다길 쭉 계속 go better 만적은 이르니 왜 무해지 못해 선명해진 순간 자유로운 패러다임 yeah 망설임은 past 나를 자극해 그게 뭐 어때 take that 혼자만의 race love it on my lane to the max limit on this beat 오직 나만의 to the max 맘을 따르지 5, 6, 7 내게 들을 때까지 휘청여도 돼 내겐 없는 shade 나는 내 ambition 5, 6, 7 내게 들을 때까지
love that synth, descending synth. So sick.
Just right. Electric feel vibes. Oh, I'm on my way. 망설임은 past 나를 자극해 그게 뭐 어땠대 이때 화려해진 the step and dance my pace to the max limit on the speed 오직 나만의 맘을 따르지 그런 멋진 step을 내게 이를 때까지 정려도 돼 내겐 없는 shit night and day I'm lazy to the max trapped up in
That transition's so tight.
평범한 skip it focus on mine 내가 듣는 모든 것이 출발선 가득 품은 ambition Who knew that my groove grew like a brook 끊을 말수 없는 나의 heartbeat limit 없는 speed 오직 나만의 맘을 따르지 4, 6, 7, 8 get 될 때까지 정려도 돼 내겐 없는 shade night and day I'm blazing 5, 6, 7, 8 get 될 때까지
That little drum roll section, super sick.
5, 6, 7, 8 get 될 때까지 got me in the mood to the max to the max to the max get 될 때까지
All right, very cool. This was Close Your Eyes X from their Blackout EP. Oh, so good. I want to give a shout out to their two composers slash arrangers and obviously producer. I love Bhavik Patani. Hopefully I've pronounced your name correctly. And JJ. Just so expertly done. I love the way that this song is like put together. One section I feel like that has always stood out to me and just continues, like every time that I listen to it, it always feels like a standout piece of the song is like the chorus. I feel like the chorus in the song is just so memorable. Got it such a good hook. I loved in the second chorus or potentially third chorus of the song. I love that they give you the chorus, but like the instrumental in the background changes. And then they do like this cool kind of like filter or switch, like speed ramping in this part of the song to get you back to that like same chorus at the end of the song. It was so cool. I love that. I noticed that more K-pop artists are doing that, which is really interesting. And I love like kind of like the way that the arrangers kind of thought about that. I thought it was very methodical, and it still keeps that familiarity of the chorus, but is in a different light. I also loved a lot of like the dimension of this song. I feel like this song is very full. I think they do a great job of, again, having like those really interesting like sampley sort of like pots and pans sounds that I've mentioned before. But I think they utilize it in a really different way, and like being able to kind of stack the vocals in such a unique way too, I think also helps. So to me, I think it kind of brings about like a different vibe and a different feeling towards this song. But really enjoyed this EP release. SOB, I feel like I came around to a ton, which was great, but this just was like from front to back, I feel like was pretty damn good. Like I genuinely feel like SOB was like one of those songs where I was like not a fan of initially, or I wouldn't say that I wasn't a fan of. I enjoyed it, but like now I'm like I enjoy it more. I think with each listening to this EP, I think I enjoy it more and more. So very nice. Gunky says, Brandon, you're making me be productive with work. I'm getting a lot done. Hey, let's go. Very nice. All right. Well, I think Sarah's gonna be happy. Another Boys Planet group, ARC. Should come to no surprise. Y'all know I love Mystic Story. For those who are new, I love Mystic Story as a label. But I feel like ARC was one of those groups that I always really enjoy. I feel like when we covered them initially, but it was just so much fun to listen to a lot of their releases. But I felt like the new stuff that came out was really good. New Kids Out the Box is really good. I enjoyed that release, but Hope, I really enjoyed Hope. I did go through and listen to this a bunch of times. Awesome's still really good, but I don't know. Every time I get to the album closer, Nightlife, that song just hits. There's just something about it that I'm like, every time that I've listened to it, like whether like I'm listening to music at my work or what have you, or I'm sitting here at my desk and I'll put something on to just listen to. I just feel like this song just rocks. You know what I mean? Like there's just something about it that I really appreciate. And this album collectively is really diverse. Like Awesome is a phenomenal title track. Dawn's is like just really also very interesting. Vitamin I or L, I think it's not I. Vitamin L is completely different than Dawn's and Kickback. Like they I feel like there's a wide range of sounds on this EP. So I really loved listening through, and it makes me excited to see what they got coming up next. Hopefully I've got another release coming out in 26, but Nightlife on this album was like chef's kiss. It was so good. So let's check out Nightlife from Arc. So let's give it a spin.
Yeah, yeah. Right now,
I did almost say New Kids on the Block. So great.
잠든 도시 새벽 4시에 고요한 city streets 오늘도 난 working must do going round round 반복되는 매 I'ma run this track 어제와는 달라질 내일을 위해 Gotta go 한 걸음씩 내 뒤도 가나 지금 이 순간 Feel so alive 흘러내린 땀을 타고 Kpop the vibe Singing through the night 하루하루 소중해 We up all night to be real Just let me do this Enjoy the moment Take my time 밤새도록 writing 계속 trying 만들어가 우리 rhapsody 말해줄게 Just hear me
9 to 5 넘어 9 to 9 다음에 9 아까 반가 나 창밖은 dark and shine black and white 거울 속에 나와 limelight 아래 내가 wow 일치할 때까지 I'ma do it hard baby
Feel the fire 흘러 땀이지 I feel alive One more time one more shot one moment 충분히 됐어 난
More pressure more patience 준비돼 있어 baby I wanna make you proud 그래서 오늘도 take my time like
돌아보지는 않을 거야 하나 둘씩 we make it true 함께서 내려가 밤새게 하고 ready with my crew We are
후회다 왜 남지 않게 keep the flow let me do this
my life Enjoy the moment So I take my time 밤새도록 writing 계속 trying 만들어가 우리 rhapsody 말해줄게 Just hear me
오늘이 내 마지막인 듯 쏟아마 everything 후회 따위는 남기지 않아 in the end 뱉은 호흡과 흘린 땀이 시간의 영까지 빠짐없이 전부 너에게 전해질 거 알기 yeah One step, two step 다시 처음부터 walk it I worked it 들리는 듯한 marching drum and trumpet
Step back 멈추지 못해 running like a V12 In my zone taking my time did you see that Now in the light I just take my time yeah 생각까지 singing louder dancing harder riding on my train I guess we 보여줄게 Just let me
All right, very cool. This was Arc's Nightlife from their EP Hope. Very cool, very cool. This was so cool. Like I said, I think to end the record off on this one was so much fun. I love the kind of like 90s hip hop influence of this song. I think I mentioned it not recently, but I feel like there has always been like this undercurrent of like 90s hip hop sound within K-pop. And I feel like there's certain pockets of time where I feel like it's been a little bit more prevalent, but I really like this song a lot. I think the combination of like their really phenomenal vocals and like the rapping in this just feels like so dynamic, so punchy. I think it mixes well with that kind of like theremin sound and like again that sort of West Coast hip hop sound. I think they do a great job of that. But this kind of again tethers me at both ends of the scale where I'm like, I know Ark are phenomenal vocalists, but I also love like a lot of their rap tones and their rapping. Throughout the group. So I think to me, it kind of gives me the best of both worlds in that aspect. And it's just one of those songs that I feel like I would just put on like and just like cruise with. You know what I mean? It's got a very cruisable feel to it. And like I said, I went back and listened to this release a ton of times. And it was just so much fun. I think they really have something unique and fun. Not to say that other groups don't, certainly. I think every group has like a unique aspect to them, but I do feel like potentially I am a little bit heavier biased towards like Mystic Story groups just because I feel like they always like scratch that itch for me. You know what I mean? There's just something about their groups that always just kind of like always I always come back to a lot of their groups. So I think to me, I am heavily biased in that aspect, but I do feel like this one was just like, again, one that I went through, just enjoyed and just had a great time with. And I think that's, at the end of the day, part of the magics of music. You know what I mean? It makes you feel those great emotions. So phenomenal record. Check out Ark if you have not. They're a great boys group. Go show them some love. Let's see. Gunky says you almost said New Kids on the Block. I almost did. That is the heritage speaking within me. Sarah says they did make my top songs of the year playlist, but not this album. That's fair. Everyone's got their personal taste, you know. All right. The next one on my list, also phenomenal release. Just undercut by my top 10. Which I feel like could say a lot. But my number 11 pick is Zero Base One. Never Say Never. I love this record. I did go back, like I know we covered it a lot with Sarah's deep dive. But my God, this album was great. I did really love going through and listening to it. I loved Iconic. Slam Dunk, I feel like, was really solid. That was probably the only one I wasn't like too on board with originally, but I will say I feel like I've come around on that one, certainly. But Iconic still hits. I love that song. But this entire release was so good. And to me, I think like to me, I feel like it differentiates from their previous releases. You know what I mean? Like I have liked a lot of the Zero Base One stuff in the past, but I feel like this was the first album where I was just like, holy shit, like this is a really good group. Obviously I'm not going to speculate on whatever they're going to do next. I know that if I've got my memory correct, I know they did get an extension on their contract, which could be good or bad depending upon how you see that. But I just felt like this release was just so good. So I thought this was incredible. So really rad stuff. My favorite on this release was Extra. I really thought this was great. So Noah Santa says, give me a TLDR. I'll give you a quick TLDR. Honorable mentions were and I'll read them off. Juny, P1 Harmony, WayV, Wendy, Ahoff. My number 20 pick was Becky. Number 19 was X Love. 18 was Chungha. 17 was N Flying. 16 was Stray Kids. 15 was QWER. 14 was VVZ. 13 was Close Your Eyes. 12 is Ark, and now we're on 11, which is ZB1. So anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. My favorite off this release was Extra, 100%. This is a phenomenal song, and we're gonna listen to it now. So let's check it out.
Natural, one is 매 순간에 뜨겁게 불태웠어
pre-chorus is so cool too. Wow.
Extra style, extra fly, 너를 망설이 down, 넌 가졌어 다. 이제 문을 활짝 연다면 now this is our time. Saying I'm the one. Yeah, get down, get down. I know what I want. 더 큰 곳으로 올라가려 해. 좀 더 멀리 봐. Yeah, 우리 크나큰 걸음을 걸어. 꿈을 쫓아 여기까지 왔어. Here we go. 이 삶을 보낸 거야. 보기나 마치도 같아. 내 방식대로 계속해. We keep on, keep on. Give me that, oh, oh, hey. Something extra. 더 크게 널 미치게 만드네. Oh, hey. 특별함이 없다면 아무 의미 없어. We can let it up. Can't go away. Everything will level up. 다시 그 위험해 부어. 불러 내 extra spice 너만의 flavor. Strap in tight. 이 세계가 듣잖아 그 외침. Strap in tight. 이 세계가 보잖아 한 번의 삶. 단단히 짊어진 무게. 누구도 날 막지 못해. 조금 더 아니 더 멀리 가고 싶어. 특별함 응원해. Something extra. 더 크게 널 미치게 만드네. Oh, hey. 특별함이 없다면 아무 의미 없어. We can let it up. Can't go away. Everything we level up. 다시 그 위험해 부어. 불러 내 extra spice 너만의 flavor. Natural 원했어. Everything we level up. 불러 extra. 왜 아직 의심해 so hard. Give me something extra.
All right, very cool. This was ZB1 and their song Extra from their newest album, Never Say Never. Very nice. Obviously love this song because it's my favorite, but I feel like this is such a cool track from like a production standpoint. Like when I was listening to this after we did like the last ZB1 stream, and I think we had checked out checked out Iconic. I was like, I gotta give this album a listen because I really did like Iconic, and so I went through the rabbit holes of listening to ZB1 again, and I just felt like this like whole album was just really really well put together. I think that this highlights a lot of different things that I feel like I hadn't really gotten familiarized with in previous releases, but they're just like the vocals in the song were monumentally great in this song. Like I loved like the chorus of that song. Like there's a lot of cool like vocal modal changes in this song that I really appreciate. Like the like chorus section I think is probably the most diverse, or like at least has the most like interesting kind of like vocalization in the song. So I love that. I also really love kind of the combination of like this meets like a lot of the things that I like about when artists incorporate, especially within the K-pop genre, incorporate like more like live instrumentation. This kind of feels like that real kind of interesting cross between of like really interesting like synth tones, but then as well as that like you've got that main like guitar riff, and then like they throw in like an actual like drum, like real drums into the song and not like electronic drums or anything. It just kind of has a really interesting dynamic feeling to it that I like, only for the sheer fact that I love hearing like real instrumentation. But I think when it's crossbred with like really interesting like electronic elements and great vocals, there's just some sort of magic that happens with the song that I really love. And to me, I feel like it is one of the more dynamic songs off this release, and that's saying a lot because there was a lot of dynamic songs on this release, but I felt like Extra was one of those ones that just kind of again had that little bit of extra spice to the track work. And I don't even think I could have landed on a favorite on this song. Like the kind of back and forth between like the rapping sections in the song and the vocals, like it just kind of really took a lot of the things that I like about ZB1 and just amplified it that much more so. So this was a phenomenal track. Like I said, the whole record's great. I think I would be remiss if I did not say how good I loved their album, like this album as a collective, but this was really good. So deserves to be on my list, certainly. Sarah says, all the fan cams I've seen of this song from tour have changed my life. Harmony knows. Yes. Fair enough. Hopefully we'll get something over here. That'd be sick. But all right. We're in the top 10, which now I'm putting the serious pants on. This was tough. This was tough. My number 10 pick, I have been listening to this. I will say this is probably on the list because I have been listening to this album a ton at the gym. And I think it is like the perfect embodiment of like energy, in my opinion, for a gym album. And I don't typically listen to a lot of K-pop at the gym, if I'm being honest. If I'm at the gym, I'm listening to like metal or something. But we listened to one of these songs on stream, and I was just like, this has been on a heavy rotation at the gym and just in normal life. But I really loved the new Iiker's release. Superpower was one of my favorite songs off this, obviously being the title track, but just incredible. It was just so much fun. I could not put this album down. I don't know. There's just something very gratifying about this release that I like. And I cannot tell you, Superpower gets you so hyped at the gym. I speaking from experience, like every time this song came on in the album listing, because I'll go through and listen to albums multiple times at the gym. But man, this one just like, the burst of energy that I felt listening to this song is incredible. But we're gonna listen to Superpower, the title track, one of the title tracks. If you have not listened to this, you're gonna be listening to it now, certainly. But check out the MV. The MV was also really cool too. But this song, chef's kiss. So let's get into Superpower.
Crank up the juice, bring the energy, light up the place. I'm like the superpower laser. Up on the stage, we at the peak. Peek at your face, 10,000 feet. Keep up the pace.
Now plan B is just for me. You know I'm nice, so my vibes are free. I take your vibe, I don't even see. If you're on Joe, I be out there, let's stand on what I see. 난 당연히 좋은 game, and I did a more game. I'm set like a belt, look at the pile in the pack, yeah. Don't back up, back it up, back it out. I lead up your vibe, I'm the maker. Yeah, push on all that good rule. You're not brand new move. Check my sound so cool. You can just feel my groove. Pick a watch in that bar. Booty booty, I'm a peak. 한기 속도 같지. Bye bye, yeah, like this. 난 규칙 따위 몰라. 달리고 있을 때 거칠어질지 몰라. 원하고 있을 때.
Let's turn it up, 텐션을 녹여 춤춰 day night.
Crank up the juice, bring the energy, light up the place. I'm like a superpower laser. Up on the stage, we at the peak. Peek at your face, 10,000 feet. Keep up the pace.
너들 해보는 멀리 여기도 먼저 가는 건 no you can't. 말 바빠도 right now tell me no. 누구든 설정 나 보면 now. Get that bass trap, pumping well. Straight up, peace, one sparkling brown. Show now, Jimmy 없는 거, let's go.
난 규칙 따위 몰라. 달리고 있을 때 거칠어질지 몰라. 원하고 있을 때. Let's turn it up, 텐션을 녹여 춤춰 day night.
Crank up the juice, bring the energy, light up the place. I'm like a superpower laser. Up on the stage, we at the peak. Peek at your face, 10,000 feet. Keep up the pace.
부셔버려 모든 경계. 난 더 원해, 난 더 원해.
미칠 듯한 격한 밤에
All right, very cool. This is Iiker's Superpower from their latest release, House of Trickery, Wrecking the House. Um, like I said, I think this is like the quintessential, at least, gym album for me. Um, I feel like I could have lifted my entire gym up with my bare hands. Um, so I every time I listen to this song, so I love when this comes on. But the entire release is just really, really well done. Like I think there's definitely moments where like you get songs like this. This is like more like rap heavy and a little bit more like electronic and a little bit more gritty. It's got like that crunchy tone and I love that. But there was definitely some songs on this album where I was like felt the complete opposite, and I think they did a great job of kind of mixing in different vibes with this release. And I think it breaks up the, I think if every song sounded like this on their release, like I don't know if I would have had the same staying power with this album, but I think it has a good mix of really energetic songs, and then some songs that I think you definitely need to have like a little bit of a cool down. But this is just so much fun. Like definitely reminds me a lot of like old like electronic core in like metal music, where they kind of incorporate like electronic elements and obviously metal elements, very similarly to like current artists like Electric Callboy, kind of referencing a lot of my old, like my old loves. I mean, obviously still love them now, but like I think there is a lot of cool like cross pollination between like a lot of my playlists, where I feel like this one just fits super well. And then as well as that, like just seems like this one would just be a one that would just pop off live. Like I haven't seen Iiker's before, but if they did not play this one live, I would be really damn surprised, because it's such a good song. So this was great. Like I said, phenomenal release. So if you have not checked out Iiker's, give him some love. So No Santa says, you're right, this is gym music for facts. Cal says, hell yeah. No Santa says, I like how long it feels too. I was gonna say, I think it ends at an appropriate time. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't overstay its welcome. I feel like it punches you in the gut and then walks away in a very convincing way. So all right, well, we're gonna move on to the next one. My 9th pick should come as no surprise to y'all. Lucy. I feel like this release was so good. I did go back and listen to it many more times after that, but I love their latest release. I like I said, I genuinely, you could slap Lucy's name on most groups, and I feel like I'm just gonna love what they do, just because I think they're an incredible group. But to me, I feel like they always bring about a different vibe, and I'm always excited to see what they do, because I think they're I think they're a phenomenal group. So obviously my favorite song off this is EIO. We gotta listen to it because it's phenomenal, and if you've missed out and you haven't listened to it, you're in for a treat. But this is the most goated song on this playlist, so let's check out EIO.
너 알아 그 짜증의 이유는 뜨면 제일 먼저 떠오른 대가 할까 말까 다행일까 다행인 게 당연한 게 당연찮아 우린 다 그미 너는 걸지도 Oh yeah, oh yeah Everything girl Everything's okay 몰라는 건 너 원하긴 해도 이야호 뭐든 이야호 실컷 빨거나봐라 이야호 다들 이야호 속이 다 뒤집어져도 오르막길에 새벽 앞에 우산 아래 너도 이야호 모두 이야호
나를 다시 앞에 놓고 또 베개에 맞춰 반복해도 다시 나를 뺏고 싶진 않아 눈길을 돌려 사실 알아 살아나가다가 다시 내일이 오늘이 되면
모든 이야로 실컷 빨거나봐라 다들 이야로 속이 다 뒤집어져도 오르막길에 새벽 앞에 우산 아래 너도 모두 이야로 위아래 다 뒤집어져도
All right, very cool. This was Lucy's EIO from their latest release, Sunflower. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Let's see. This is great. Sarah says great choice. Thank you, thank you. Cal says we'll always take the chance to listen to EIO. Goni says, how could this song not be anyone's favorite? This is on my top 25 list. Let's go. Sarah says, we know how I feel about a violinist. And Cal says, I managed to get my sibling into Lucy a while back. They went to their concert with me, and I showed them this song the other day. Unsurprisingly, they loved it too. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Big W's in the chat. We love to see that. This is phenomenal. I feel like I have exhausted my commentary on this song with the first time I checked it out. But I will say that this song just every time I listen to it, I can't help but have like a fucking huge grin on my face. You know, I think like music to me has always been an emotional connection. Like I think, and I think this is even more especially true with like K-pop and like you know this umbrella of K music. I just feel like there's just something very special about like a lot of these releases off this off my favorites this year, but just I think I could speak for every year that I've covered K-pop. I just think to me it's like there's always like this revitalized spirit at the end of the year where I go through and I listen to all of these, and I feel like oftentimes I'm always like, damn, this is gonna be quite the challenge, but I just go through and I just listen to it. Like I just think there's so many songs that came out this year, and some that I probably haven't listened to, and there's some that obviously new groups I'll check out in the new year. But I just feel like I'm always floored at like the amount of talent and the amount of connection that I can feel towards a song. And it's groups like this and like groups that we'll be talking about further along that I'm always like, I don't think that there will ever be, I hope that there will never be a point where I never stop to feel that connection towards music. I think I love that experience, and I love obviously being able to like share that experience with other people. And not only I feel like in the live setting, but also in the comments too. And I think I talked about in our Discord, but just like the communal aspect of music has always been a big part of my life, sharing new music, sharing new artists. And I feel like I'm so appreciative of chat for the many people that have always recommended Lucy over the years. I feel like it's always such a fun, indoctrinating experience to be a part of. So very much kudos to Lucy. I think for being one of the first K bands we covered, which was incredible. But all that's to say is this is a phenomenal song. The violin is incredible. The vocals are awesome. The guitar work, the bass playing, the drumming, like all collectively, I don't think there would be anything that I would particularly change about the song that would change this opinion for me. I just feel like it is just extremely well written from front to back and needs no alterations, So phenomenal song, phenomenal release. If you again have not checked out or haven't had the opportunity to listen to Lucy, I would for sure recommend it. So very nice, very nice. All right, we're getting into the next one. Number 8 on my list is Recine's Lip Balm. And my favorite was Heart Drop. I just think that the song is a phenomenal song. But I feel like Recine to me has just been that group that I loved both of their releases this year, and it was really hard for me to kind of do a coin flip on these. But I really enjoyed Glow Up a ton. But Lip Balm, man, I know it just came out very recently, but just like this, I think just from front to back is just a phenomenal release. Like, there's just something about all of these songs that are just so well written. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about it that I wanted to just collectively speak about. The record is just such a good listen from front to back. I guess I don't want to call myself a snob, but I will say that I am very particular about listening to albums from front to back. I know I've mentioned it at length doing this, but there's just something special about listening to releases from front to back, and I feel like the title track inspired me to listen to the rest of this release, and I'm glad that I did because it obviously climbed my ranks very quickly because it was so good. Bloom is also a phenomenal song as well, but I just felt like as soon as I heard Heart Drop, I was just like, this is a this is a banger song. So we are gonna listen to Heart Drop, which is the title track. So if you have not checked out Recine, they're doing well. I would think. So hopefully next year they'll continue to just do better and better. So let's check out Heart Drop.
Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop. 내 놀랐던 너의 하루에 그 한순간에 melt away, baby. 터져드는 향기에 널 물들여 flip away. 내게 속을 간지럽힌 hypersonic 빠져드는 rhythm 부드럽게 번져와 느껴진 delight 손을 뻗어 get this feeling can't stop, won't stop.
Every time this chorus hits, it's so good.
Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. 내게도 빠져드는 sound. 이 떨림은 just for you. 서서히 스며드는 이미 can't stop, won't stop. Make your heart drop. Already told ya I'm all you need. 다른 그 순간
MVP is good too, chat. I agree.
Just take me to the next part right now. 조심스레 물들여 끝도 없이 은은하게 퍼지는 멜로디에 한번 닿은 손을 뻗어 get this feeling. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. 내게도 빠져드는 sound. 이 떨림은 just for you. 서서히 스며드는 이미 can't stop, won't stop. Make your heart drop. 멈추지 못할 달콤한 한 방심한 새에 퍼진다. Heart dropping까지 갑시다. 이대로 빠져들어도 내 맘에 새긴 잊지 못할 내게도 빠져드는 sound. 이 떨림은 just for you. 점점 더 잠겨들어 이미 can't stop, won't stop. Make your heart drop. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart drop. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, won't stop. We can make your heart. Can't stop, can't stop.
All right, very cool. This was Heart Drop by Recine from their latest release, Lip Balm. Very nice. While I was going through this and picking some of my favorites this year, my girlfriend was driving with me in the car, and normally she doesn't like. I would say, and I don't want to speak for them certainly, but I know she typically is mostly I think guys groups typically. Um, but I was playing Recine, and I played this release because again I had come out and I was listening to it a lot, and we had somewhere to drive and we were just kind of listening to it in the background. And normally she doesn't ask like whoever I'm listening to. I don't know if it's just because she just doesn't think about it, but which is besides the point. But she did make a comment. And she's like, "Oh my god," she's like, "I really liked whoever we were listening to," and I said, "Oh, we were listening to Recine." She's like, "Oh well, I'll definitely have to give them more, give them more of a listen." She's like, like I really liked this release." And I was like, "Cool, cool, cool." So I like sent it over to her. But I feel like that to me was like one of those moments where I was like, obviously I love their release, but like it like oftentimes I feel like some of my favorite groups or say favorite albums this year have been ones that I feel like I've shared with my partner, and like um and so I think it is cool in that aspect because like there's definitely some groups that I feel like has introduced me to that I didn't know about, and like um I I think that's probably what inspired me to listen to this release more, just because I think it's very nice to be able to share in that experience of like, oh wow, like we go to shows, to see groups and stuff, and we're seeing some groups in the new year, of course. But like to me, it's cool because like I think this was like one of the records on this list that I was like, you definitely need to give this one a listen, and I would imagine she's gonna be pretty stoked about this one. But like, I genuinely like from front to back, like this is such a wildly good release. I know a lot of people in chat were saying like MVP was a fantastic song. I would also agree with that. Bloom I loved. Like genuinely, I think you could have picked any song in this EP, and they like you would be right in your own right. You know what I mean? So I love that. Um, I love that. To me, it's like this perfect kind of combination of like really like lush synths and like interesting tones, and their vocal tones are like super super like on point as well too. So I think this to me just kind of like takes a lot of the things that I love within the girl group space of K-pop right now, and just kind of just amplifies it in the best way. So I love that with each release they just kind of continue to get better and better. That's awesome. I also feel like I have to show chat this because this is the I feel like the embodiment of how I feel listening to this song. I don't know if it's gonna show up or not. Let me see. Wait. Oh no, I don't have it pulled up. All right, let me let me switch over here. Um, that's how I feel listening to this. So every time Heart Drop comes on, I'm just this kid just vibing. You know what I mean? Like it's a real vibe setter. So we love it. But anyway, that's great. I feel like every time I listen to Heart Drop, I'm just like me vibing in the club here, even though I've only been once. So let's see, couple comments here. Gunky says Bloom is in my top 25 songs of the year, and they have 3 Recine songs in the top 25. That's big. That's big. Uni says this might be my top 10 albums this year. Very nice, very nice. Sarah says MVP is my fave from the EP. Sarah says that's so sweet. That's also so satisfying to get a partner into one of your musical artists. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's a shared experience. So I love being able to, music I think is another love language certainly. So I love being able to share artists, and glad the feeling is mutual in that aspect. So I would assume she would love for me to check out groups sooner so that she can listen to music in the car, but that's besides the point. So it is what it is. But Gunky says, I've loved Recine since their debut. They just came out of nowhere. They're easily one of the best girls groups to me. And Sarah says, I also feel that way about If I. Yes, they're also an incredible girl group too. So I would agree. I'm glad they're getting a lot of love. I hope that they continue to get a lot of love because they are a phenomenal girls group. So if you haven't checked out Recine, would highly recommend if chat hasn't dissuaded you or dissuaded you from checking them out. So very nice, very nice. We're moving on to my 7th pick, which is NMIX's Blue Valentine. My favorite song was Adore You by, I don't know, I wouldn't say by a pretty large margin. There's definitely a couple songs in the running, but I feel like if I did not have NMIX on my favorites of this year, I think I would beat myself up because it is a phenomenal release. So I definitely like that. Also, shout outs to FE304 Forward. I would also give a shout out to that. There were some songs on this album that I also really liked. Mostly named Slingshot. I really love Slingshot, but I don't know. I feel like Blue Valentine just kind of capitalized on everything that I've really liked about NMIX so far, and maybe even more so in the future. I generally feel like they always incorporate just different elements. Like they're always one of those things where I'm just like, damn, like I'm always shocked. You know what I mean? Like there's something that they always bring to the table where I'm always like, you know, I'm always very in love with what they've done, and I love that they incorporate not only I think different genres, but like Latin elements into their music. Like it's a cool melting pot of what they're doing. So I'm always excited to listen to their music, and I feel like Blue Valentine in terms of their album was no exception to that rule. So Kala says yes. Gunky says this album is just amazing. I was expecting this. Adore You is my second favorite behind Shape of Love. Uni says Reality Hurts is still top on this album for me. Hey, fair enough. Gunky says can we just not talk about Rico? I can't stand that guy. Listen, don't make fun of Uncle Rico, okay? He was in Napoleon Dynamite, all right? He's one of the best football players to ever do it. So anyway, if you get that reference, thank you. But this was Adore You. Let's check it out.
마주치는 눈빛에 침묵만이 가득해 with this chaos 뒤엉켜버린
He may have had a llama. Can't confirm.
몰아치는 감정에 반복되는 stupid play what to do 맘에도 없는 말을 또 뱉어 다 알면서 또 messed up Now I'm feeling like a fool 또 날 탓하고만 있어 습관처럼 bleed 내맘 같은 preview 익숙하면 알수록 이기적인 내 온도 내 맘을 꺼내볼 수 있다면 You'd see how much I adore ya But I think I'm out of control Here we go again 찔리도록 굴고 가는 hell and heaven all over again 서로 같은 맘인데도 keep running around 마주한 대답은 cynical 가까울수록 더 난 있어 Don't let me on the break up Now I'm feeling like a fool 계속 나빠지고 있어 습관처럼 play 매번 같은 preview 익숙하면 알수록 이기적인 내 온도 내 맘을 꺼내볼 수 있다면 You see how much I adore ya But I think I'm out of control Hot and cold back and forth 그래도 난 어떠야 Hot and cold back and forth Every time I'm 어떠야 I don't wanna blame ya 결국 같은 review 맘을 있는 그대로 정리해주고 싶어 어설픈 내 사랑을 전하고파 You see how much I adore ya But that's something you never know
All right, very cool. This was Adore You from MX's newest album, Blue Valentine. Very nice, very nice. Let's see, couple comments here. Gungi responded to Unhee saying the song has grown on me for sure. Also says it's their top album of the year. Love this song. And 3 songs from this album are on my top 25 list. 2 others are just outside of my top 25. Hey, that's awesome. There you go. This was incredible. Obviously, if you would like to check out my full thoughts on the album, go check out the stream that I did for that. But this is a phenomenal release. I would argue. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of the MX releases. I just feel like they kind of get better and better over time. I know I had FE 304 Break as one of my favorites last year, and that's such a great release still. I think that still holds up super strong. But I think to me, like, there's just something really inherently special about this album. I think it again covers a wide variety of different genres, different feelings, different emotions, and I just think to me it's like, as a listener, and obviously as a listener of multiple genres, I think that they really kind of cover a lot of bases with this release. And personally, I think I would even recommend this to people who aren't even in K-pop, that listen to K-pop music. Like, I think there's just a lot of good things. Like, if you listen to a broad range of music, like, I genuinely feel like, I genuinely feel like even if you didn't slap the K-pop label to this, which, I mean, obviously it is, I think you pretty much could, I think you could pretty much give this to anybody, and there would be a song that I feel like most people would, enjoy at least one of the songs off their releases. But it was so hard for me to pick a favorite off this album. Like, I genuinely enjoyed so much. And I knew that, at least from my perspective, like, there were definitely some songs where I was like, you know what? Like, I think a majority of it, I was like kind of thinking, oh, well, I like these songs stand out. But like, going through and listening to it more and like kind of really diving deep into this release, like, there's just so many good songs. Like, this is like, not only I think from the perspective of like their vocals, but like, again, instrumentation wise, there's just so much diversity. And you can really tell that these ladies have put like a lot of time and a lot of effort into growing their craft. And obviously, shout outs to obviously whoever worked on this, from production, mixing, mastering, instrumentation. Like, there's just so people who arrange the music. Like, it requires a village, and I definitely feel like they have absolutely put their best foot in front. But it's just it just so good. So I just think that, to me, like, this was just such a unique release. And genuinely, I feel like most people would think, oh, well, it's top, it's in your top 10, like, it's not, number 1. And like, I'm not saying that it isn't a great release. I'm not saying, I've obviously given it its flowers, but I mean, also, there have been some albums that are on this list that I've listened to for a lot longer and like have maybe a little bit more staying power. But I didn't want to discount this record for what it is, because it is, I would argue, one of the best NMix albums to come out. So, this was phenomenal. Like I said, I'm very excited to see what they have next and what they'll be doing. So, best of luck. Hopefully this record has done well for them, because they certainly deserve it. So, let's see. Oh God, I'm not gonna. Y'all can say what you need to say about this, but I'm gonna stay out of it. Gunky says this release really grew on you a lot. You always have mixed feelings when you first hear things on their first releases. That is true. And I think it comes with a little bit of like apprehension, not because I don't think that record is gonna be good, but like, I feel like I never want to give away the cards first. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's something special about listening to albums, and like, I think there's an inherent difference of like listening to a release on stream versus like listening to it on my own time. Not to say that I wouldn't give the same commentary, but I think I definitely think there's a different lens for which you view albums from, when it's a communal aspect of things versus like when you're personally listening to it. And like I said, I've done a lot of listening to this release, so I could definitely say that in terms of personal preference, I think it's really well put together. So very excited to see what MX does. Shout outs. Hopefully, best of luck to their future endeavors. They're going to be an incredible group. So not that they aren't already, but will continue to be. So all right, number 6 should not come to any surprise to any of y'all. But I put Twice's. This is 4. I would have put 10 on here just for honorable mention's sake. I didn't get around to really listening to it as much. Me Plus You is an incredible title track, but I feel like this is all mostly solo songs, so I don't feel that I could give it as much of a credit as I should. But I did listen to This Is For so much. I also, the title track is incredible. I could still say as much as I love about that song. Right Hand Girl, I think is very close to a favorite, but I don't know why, but every time when I came to this release, I got to Peach Gelato, and it's just a sweet song. Like it fills me with warmth, and I feel like it is like just like it kind of feels like almost like a song that would have been on with Youth, and I love that release from Twice. So I feel like that maybe speaks to my love of certain Twice releases, but this was such a sweet song, and it was one of my favorites. So we're going to be listening to Peach Gelato as my favorite from this album, though there were some really good songs. I'll give a shout out to Batitude as well. That was also a phenomenal song too. But let's listen to Peach Gelato and hear from our sweet women. So check it out.
It's on tonight, okay. She came from outer state. What's up with your astrology? That body out of space. You like my style to shade. I put you on a chain. You smile, you got you shining like there's diamonds on your face. And that's that thing shade that I hit the lotto. Dripping so sweet like a peach gelato. I can see me in your head tomorrow. Ooh, you know what I wanna do. Can I dance with you again? You again, ride it out. Walk it down, walk it back, yeah. Can I dance with you again? You again, run it out. Walk it down, walk it back, yeah. When you slide to the left, to the right. One more time, do you think, do it twice. Can I dance with you again, run it up. Walk it down, walk it back, yeah. I'm just getting started, I can't stop. I think I like it more than a lot. Takes me back, I'm waiting, da da da. Come on, boy, show me the stuff you got. Ooh, slide with me, ride or die with me, put in time with me, I hook you up. Ooh, eyes on me, got your eyes on me, I'm such an icy tree, I'll give you some. When I saw that thing shake, that I hit the lotto. Dripping so sweet like a peach gelato. You can see me in your head tomorrow. Ooh, you know what I wanna do. Can I dance with you again? You again, run it out, work it down, work it back, yeah. Can I dance with you again, run it up, work it down, work it back, yeah. When you slide to the left, to the right, one more time, do you think, do it twice. Can I dance with you again, run it out, walk it down, walk it back, yeah. Can I dance with you? Can I dance with you? Can I dance with you? Can I dance with you?
All right, very cool. That was Peach Gelato from This Is For. Very excited. This release was incredible. Like I said, I enjoyed a majority of this release, though I feel like, again, heavily biased. I love Twice. One, if not the first girls group I got into doing K-pop, which is documented, which is cool. I feel like every release is always just a blast. I picked up 10 recently. It's actually I'll pull it up. It's I picked up 10 recently. The newest, the newest Twice release. I feel like I had to add it to my collection, but it's just I love them. They're sick. I'm very excited for anything that Twice does. That maybe just speaks to the small parts of my brain that just are dedicated to Twice, but it's so good. I'm very excited for their tour. I also agree, Sarah. I've not seen Twice, but I'm very stoked. It's gonna be an absolute blast. But yeah, I just think they're just such a fun group, and I think Peach Gelato kind of embodies that just lighthearted, fun energy that they bring to the table. And I don't know, just like the chorus of the song just is like really catchy. I love like just like their vocals, and the acoustic guitar tone is just so nice. There's like a little bit of electronic elements, but not too much. But I feel like it feels very quintessential Twice to some degree. And obviously again plays well with that kind of like with youth flavoring that I also really love. But Twice has been on the big hit. You know what I mean? They did Takedown for the K-pop Demon Hunters movie. So I'm very excited that the stonks are high for Twice, as if they weren't already. But love this release. I don't think there's much else to say. So let's see. Gunky says can never go wrong with Twice. Uni says truer words never spoken. No Santa says also my favorite from the album. Hey, let's go twins. Gunky said that's awesome, and Sarah also said they're excited for their tour. Very nice, very nice, very nice. All right, listen. Top 5 was difficult. I know I've been saying that's my adjective for the evening, but I would say top 5 could very well be interchangeable throughout my top 5. But sitting currently at number 5, I have Excenary Heroes, Beautiful Mind. I was absolutely floored by this record when we first listened to it, and then I went back and listened to it a few times throughout the summer, and then I obviously went back and listened to it more currently. My God, they're such a cool group. I'm always excited for them. Obviously, hope that they will be I'm sure that they will be releasing new music in the future. Love to Death was also really good. My favorite from that was Spoiler. But man, I genuinely don't think that like they kind of combine a lot of my love of what K-pop like in K-band elementation brings to the table, as well as again like the metal aspects of it. And I know they're influenced by like a lot of metal artists as well, so it's cool to see just the worlds collide in that aspect. I think I said that about it when we listened to it, but it is really cool to see what they've got going on, and obviously always excited to see what they release because they're an incredible group, and always curious to see what they got cooking. But my favorite song from the release, obviously, George the Lobster. We gotta go back and listen to it. I know how much chat was stoked about this song, and myself included, and every time I listen to George the Lobster, I just get fucking soaked. So let's check it out.
Enough 이쯤에서 또 한 겹 그것을 잘
약간 불안해 자꾸만 고개를 들어 기억이 그렇다면 what are we 따라가 보자고 my heartbeat going up 곧이야 모든 게 going up is coming up 전부 다 새롭게 coming up 한계 너무 세게 두려움을 마주한 채 온다고 커다란 이 세상이 매번 무섭다 해도 깨질수록 더 단단해질 테니 이 모를 죽음 앞에 더 가까이 날 깃들여 I'm a lost star 저기 떠이 소리쳐 be a rockstar 터질 듯이 반복된 상처가 나를 해집는데도 그 모든 고통을 지길 거야 on my own It's time to face up today
All right, very cool. This was track 6 from Beautiful Mind from Extraordinary Heroes, and it is called George the Lobster. I feel like this one was, again, really tough. The entire release, I feel like from front to back is chef's kiss. It's so good. Beautiful Life was a very close second, honestly. George the Lobster, I feel like was just so dynamic. I love it. But Beautiful Life also is incredible too. So wanted to give it flowers. I know Goki also made a comment on here, but just like I think to me this like again culminates a lot of the aspects of like why I love just K bands in general. Obviously all of them are incredible, but I do feel like to me like Beautiful Mind is like one of those records where like it's just a journey, right? Like I think truly like you sit down, you listen to it, and like I genuinely just sat back and listened and just like really soaked it all in, and I like just enjoy the writing. Like I think there's just such a powerfulness to this release that I just really appreciate, and I think honestly over that time period because it came out on March, it looks like March 24th of this year. I just feel like I've had a lot of time to sit with it, and it's just so good, and it's cool to me, at least like I've said before about Extraordinary Heroes, is like it's cool to see that there's this cross pollination of like rock slash metal that pervades through like that Korean style of music, and obviously pulling from a bunch of different genres in that like rock and metal space. And it's really cool. And like I said, as someone who primarily, as of a couple years ago, covered mostly metal music, it's cool to see that type of popularity is still there, and like there is a huge amount of love for the genre. So excited to see more. George the Lobster is incredible. What a name for a song too, certainly. But just extremely well written. And if you're looking for an incredible K band release, I would say look no further than this Extraordinary Heroes release, because if you have not checked, if this is their first time listening to Extraordinary Heroes, it won't be your last. So go give it some love. It was awesome. But a couple comments here. Gucky says, I knew this album be in your top 5. Very nice, very nice. Kyle says, such an incredible album. Hell yeah. George the Lobster, so good. Second favorite, I just love Beautiful Life too much. Fair enough. And I'm glad Korean rock is getting more popular. I also agree. Very sick. Very cool. Next one, number 4, I think should surprise 0 people in my chat. But it is Sion's Igasin. I got to give a shout out to Kala, of course, first and foremost. We would not be listening to Sion without them. So big kudos, big salutes to put W's in the chats and comments for Kala. But this was tough. I feel like Sion would have definitely been slightly higher up, but it came out in September, and I mean I've listened to it a lot since then and still have. But I would say I have listened to my top 3 probably the most amount of times I've listened to any release outside of like my metal listening habits. So I feel like Sion definitely, if this came out earlier in the year, this would be way higher up on the proverbial ladder. But I just love this. This was a phenomenal release. We've checked out a ton of songs from him. I think we should actually check out all of these songs on this release. But if this wasn't on the list, I who am I, right? So we are going to check out Celeste. That was my favorite song. Iiker was also really cool. I love the intro, but we're going to check out Celeste first because I loved it. So definitely check out Sion if you have not. But let's give Celeste a listen.
Yeah, as if I know what's up. My eyes just close so long. And my head's so upfront, but it just won't stop falling. Just as the morning fades,
I love like Sion's low key flipping us all off in chat.
remember the thing you said. Miss you as I love you. I can't let you fade away. Thought I'd get used to go missing when you're about to explain. Face it, not in control. I don't wanna lose you anymore. Miss you as I love you. I can't feel a part of my brain. Figured it doesn't work out, so I cleared the cache, dropping the top now. Funny, it only took a sec for me to skip it. Still couldn't hold the drive. Another second till I'm full aware that I've been feeding my own disposition. Shouldn't have faced it. Miss you as I love you. I can't let you fade away. Thought I'd get used to go missing when you're about to explain. Faced it, not in control. I don't wanna lose you anymore. Bountiful love.
All right, very cool. This was Sion's Celeste from his latest release, Iiker. Couple comments here. Cala is responding to Biscuit. Biscuit says also top album for me. A, let's go. And he says top 10. In my top 10. A, let's go. Cala says yes, wondering when this would come up. Yeah. Oh my god. I could not go without stream without mentioning Sion. Sarah says added to my playlist immediately. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Kyle says whole EP grew on me so fast. Now it's one of my top releases. Yeah, I think to me this one skyrocketed, in my opinion, on my listening habits. I listened to this God so many times. I just have been I try to think of the best adjective to describe how I feel about Sia, but I feel like I am so engrossed by how he does music. You know what I mean? Like I think his voice is incredible. I think his like ear for music is also really impeccable. Not to like just glaze him up, but I genuinely I think for to me, I just feel like he's just on in a league of his own in terms of just writing. And genuinely, I could have picked any of these songs on this EP, and it would have been it would have banged. But I just think to me, I'm always inquisitive on what he's gonna do next as an artist. But I do feel like what he brings to the table is just so much fun. Like I think his voice has such a fun dynamic range, and I think as he's gotten older and hopefully smarter, I would like to say he has in terms of his production, but like and in musicality. But I think to me his evolution as an artist is so cool to see, and obviously we've covered him in multiple stints throughout past year or so. Um, but I think to me he always kind of finds this way of like making it better and better, and I think that it kind of combines my love of great vocals. I think it has like obviously as Gunky mentioned, it definitely has some like video game moments and like influence, and obviously I know he's done music according to Cal, he's done music for video games or like worked in sound design for that. So like I think to me it already had a jump start in my mind of things that I already appreciate, but I just think to me just kind of he continues to get better and better with each release, and I'm always just so floored at like the songwriting and his process more so than anything else. And um excited to see what he does next year. I don't know if he's gonna have an EP next year or not, but if it's anything as good as this release, then I can almost be assured that I'm gonna enjoy it. If he goes off and does a different path, and I mean, even still, I think it'd still be incredible. I feel like he really maintains his ethos over his musical journey so far. So, shout out to Sion. Check him out if you have not. Please, would highly recommend it. So, all right, top 3. This one, genuinely, I feel like these have stood the test of time in my playlist. I loved this album. I feel like to me it was one of those releases that I listened to an ungodly amount of times, and I took a little bit of a break from it, came back to it for the stream obviously, but I got to give a shout outs, and certainly no giveaway here, but Fromis 9 put out a phenomenal record this year. Um From Our 20s was incredible. Obviously, Lil Bias, I did get to see them this year, which was incredible. But they're Like You Better is, I think, one of their best songs in my opinion, and I just love this EP. It's just that bright, just shimmery sort of songwriting. Like I think I'm very excited to see what Fromis is going to be doing next year. But to me, just like love this record. And obviously, I think again, it was a little bit of a bonding experience for my girlfriend and I. We love this record. I can't tell you how many like positive memories I have associated with this album and this music. So I think that also plays into the factor of enjoyment, certainly. Um, but I'm very excited to see what they have cooking up next. I hope that they have a better team around them, certainly. But man, this is a phenomenal release. So can't be upset about that. But we're gonna listen to. We would have listened to Like You Better. I love that song, but I feel like this is going out as a shout outs to my partner. We listened to Strawberry Mimosa a ton. And this is collectively, I would say, a favorite between us both. So we gotta listen to it. So let's check out Strawberry Mimosa.
Strawberry good man 따끔거리는 기분 like it 한번 끝나 빠져가 drip drip like you got me so crazy 막 어질어질해 상상도 못한 flavor 헤어날 수 없이 빠져 덮인 터진 love so sweet 너와 나의 perfect mix like this like this like this like this oh wait 다가가는 rush I sip me slowly 커져가는 crush 빨갛지 darling your favorite flavor 한 방울씩 점점 꽉 뭉치겠어 oh so sip me slowly you taste like mimosa yeah I want you and mimosa yeah drinking my hand strawberry mimosa yeah come take a sip 가득 채워줄게 더 뜨겁게 you taste like champagne blush ice it up cold let it hit when it gets hot cocktail crush come fill it up on the rocks 눈치 없이 더는 묻지 마 one more shot we can take it far no doubt about it 나만 이미 확실하잖아 like 쿵쿵 거린 심장이 upside 이런 게 your name come get closer 또 가져가는 맘 깜빡한 순간 반전 녹아내리는 the potion 밥에 넘치는 love so sweet 너와 나의 it's a perfect mix like this like this like this like this oh wait 다가가는 rush I'll sip it slowly 커져가는 crush 빨개진 darling your favorite flavor 한 방울씩 점점 꽉 넘치겠어 oh so sip me slowly you taste like mimosa yeah I want you and mimosa yeah drinking my hand strawberry mimosa yeah come take a sip 가득 채워줄게 더 뜨겁게 you taste like
All right, very cool. This was Fromis 9's Strawberry Mimosa from our 20s, their latest release. A very summer song. I will say that the way that they inflect off of Mimosa is just, I don't know, it's got a really good ring and catchiness to it. So I think this is an incredible release. Like I said, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't think they could have done any better in my opinion. I just think it kind of nails that really summerish fun vibe. I think that was further amplified seeing them live and doing some of these songs. They did play Strawberry Mimosa. They did Like You Better. They did do they did do a bunch of these songs from this release, and so I think a lot of those songs translate very well in the live setting. But as well as that, I just really appreciate just kind of like the vibes of what they have going on, and I think like there's just a very warm tone that I feel like they bring to this release. So had to include this on the list. Just was an incredible album, and I think obviously now that I have personal attachment to it, I feel like it only makes the songs that much sweeter now. So love to see it. Uni says such a good album, also in my top 10, probably pretty high on my list, but I haven't figured out exactly where things are placed yet. That's fair. Always difficult. I feel like I cut it down to the wire normally, so I feel that. So keeping it moving. Number 2, also potentially could not be potentially is not a surprise for I think most people in chat, but I have to give a shout outs and very excited to present my second pick, which is Onu's Connection. I love this album. I would say that Fromis 9, Onu, and then my number 1 pick, I would say really kind of pushed my my top genre of the year up, because I listened to these releases so many times in the earlier part of the month, probably throughout the entirety of the year. Like I went back and listened to some of these releases a lot or very often. So I would say that they are responsible for my love of K-pop this year, which is incredible. But this release, I honestly didn't go back and listen to, which this is probably going to kill me, but I didn't listen to Percent, which I probably should have, But Connection, man, was just so good. I was just so floored by it. I love Onu. I think he's an incredible vocalist. And I think this exemplifies him in every which way you possibly could shake it. So I think this is a flawless piece of musicality, in my opinion. So I love this EP. It's so good. But my favorite one was Conversation, which is what we're gonna listen to. So let's check it out.
금방이라도 울 것 같은 네 얼굴 어깨 젖힌 힘없는 몸짓 무너뜨려 my heart into 꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 고민 끝이 없으니 거기 멈춰서길 oh, oh it's alright 널 위한다면 no matter what 널 웃게 할래 no matter how 불안 소린 떠들게 mute 부른 고민 그냥 shoot 가벼워지도록 털어봐 So we need a conversation All night, all day, whatever Conversation, you and I Blah, blah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 Forget about 1 or 2 or 3 그럴 땐 역시 we need a conversation 눌러 담은 모든 말 울컥하며 쏟아져 좋아, 우린 never stop Need a conversation 마치 암전 까만 너의 마음 숨긴 상처 감정 꺼내 보여봐 If you want it 가만히 널 밝혀줄게 If you want it 살며시 널 안아줄게 oh, oh, oh. 바람결에 let go let go 생각들을 go slow go slow 따고는 날 즐겨 party tonight 한숨만 내쉰 하루지만 작아질 때면 외쳐 so what 늘 그랬듯이 we're going through 어느 날 아침 it's coming true 속는 셈 치고 날 믿어봐 So we need a conversation All night, all day, whatever Conversation, you and I Blah, blah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 Forget about 1 or 2 or 3 그럴 땐 역시 we need a conversation 눌러 담은 모든 말 울컥하며 쏟아져 좋아, 우린 never stop Need a conversation We need a conversation 필요할 때 나를 불러 No more drama 흐릿해져가 your trauma 먼저 star했다 stop 내게 달린 time Is it right or wrong 상관없었다 시시콜콜하래도 알고 싶어 more about you So we need a conversation All night, all day, whatever Conversation, you and I Blah, blah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 Forget about 1 or 2 or 3 그럴 땐 역시 we need a conversation 눌러 담은 모든 말 울컥하며 쏟아져 좋아 우린 never stop need a conversation 눌러 담은 모든 말 울컥하며 쏟아져 좋아 우린 never stop need a conversation
All right, very cool. This was Onu's Conversation from his EP Connection. No notes. Vibey, fun, energetic, incredible vocals, rapping from Onu, which is cool. Just love the song. I don't think if you can't I feel like if you're not vibing, feeling it, this is gonna put you in a good mood. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is the type of song, like if I have a shitty day, I'm putting this song on and it's gonna raise my spirits. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those elixirs of life, honestly, in my opinion. So I love this song. And also Onu's vocal tone is incredible. I love it. I think this song really kind of highlights a cool array of different vocals that he brings to the table. So phenomenal release. Like I said, Connection, I feel like is a flawless release in my opinion. I want to give it some love. Shout out to you, Onu, if you're watching this. I don't know if you would, but if you did, appreciate you. Thanks for watching. But all right, well, you have waited here for roughly 3.5 hours for me to decide on my favorite. And we're here. We're at that moment. This was tough. This was again tough. I'm gonna keep saying tough because either A, I haven't said it enough, but I'll keep saying it. I genuinely mowed over this one a ton because I love this Onu release, but I will say there was one album that I felt like was just in the running throughout the entirety of when it released. And I feel like I had to give it some love. So Andy says, I love this album too. Very nice. Shout out to Andy. We love to see it. But my favorite album of this year goes to 10. I loved 10's newest album. His Stunner album, so good. I was just so excited from this. I will say Bambola grew on me a ton, but dear Jesus, this was so good. And like his range throughout this entire release is what really kind of floored me about it. Is just like his range was so good, and it was just a treat to listen to. And I think every time I listen to it, I think whenever I pick an album that is my favorite, I feel like it's that the crossroads between loving it a lot and like not losing the whimsy of the album. And I feel like 10 consistently kept that whimsy for me, where I was just like, I didn't get tired of it. Like it didn't give me a fatigue. And I think like his vocal tone and like what he was able to do on this release is just so good. So I feel like I had to get 10 his flowers. I feel it, obviously, ironically enough, he was mentioned earlier on with WayV, but just an incredible artist. And I felt like this one, ever since we listened to it on stream, I've just been quietly listening to this album for the better half of like more than 6 months now. So probably closer to like 10, probably 10 or 11. Well, no, actually not 11. Probably be about well, I don't know. I can't count tonight. I'm having a moment. But we're going to listen to Stunner, which is my favorite song. I feel like we're ending it off on a banger, in my opinion. But let's give Stunner a listen.
It's only you, baby. You are Stunner. 시작부터 난 정해진 듯이 너를 본 그 순간 멈춰진 걸음 시선을 뺏긴 사이 마지막까지 억지로 외면해도 더욱더 진해질 뿐 I know you feel 나처럼 기대하고 있지 so real love I'm talking about some real love baby 닿을 듯이 날 스치는 아찔함에 멈추고만 싶어지는 시간마저 거부할 수 없으니 Love me harder one try oh 혼자 홀린 듯 다가와 위험에는 잠깐 스친 순간 포착한 틱탁 조금 뒤에 터질 것 같아 일상을 뛰어넘은 매력 앞에 난 You're getting got bigger 어디 카핑 어지러운데 버티지 못하고서 쓰러지게 뻔해 I see my future in your eyes My little angel in the sky Stunner, stunner, stunner Are you stunner, stunner, stunner Are you fire, fire You're too hot Baby, what you doing to me Stunner, stunner, stunner Are you stunner, stunner, stunner Are you fire, fire You're too hot Baby, what you doing to me Stunner, stunner, yeah 모두 reset 새로워 like Big Bang 너무 쉽게 나를 답하거나 No way 예고 없이 다른 모습에도 반해 놀래켜봐 Don't need no breaks it's okay 설레지 매일 The flames hit the mood 한 번에 falling 언제나 바른 꿈 온몸을 던져 I got nothing to lose There ain't nobody but you baby 닿을 듯이 날 스치는 아찔함에 멈추고만 싶어지는 시간마저 혼자 홀린 듯 다가와 위험에는 잠깐 스친 순간 포착한 틱탁 조금 뒤에 터질 것 같아 일상을 뛰어넘은 매력 앞에 난 You're getting got bigger 어디 카핑 어지러운데 버티지 못하고서 쓰러지게 뻔해 I see my future in your eyes My little angel in the skies 본능적인 끌림 느낌 Let's go let's just hop on it 아무 이유 없이 Loving the way you groove Loving the way you move You want it
소리에 너에게 닿으려면 Baby you shine like a baby you shine like a star 사실 순간 포착해 틱탁 조금 뒤에 터질 것 같아 일상을 뛰어넘은 내를 덮인 날 You agree copy가 multi-topping 어지러운데 버티지 못하고서 쓰러지게 뻔해 I see my future in your eyes A little when you're in the sky Stunner, are you stunner, are you fire, you're too hot baby what you doing to me Stunner, are you stunner, are you fire, you're too hot baby what you doing to me Stunner baby you a stunner baby Stunner baby you a stunner baby yeah stunner yeah stunner you a stunner.
All right, very cool. This was Ten's Stunner from his album of the same name, Stunner. My favorite album of the year. Big salutes to Ten. The man and does the work. We love to see it. So, let's see. Kala says, "Oh." Biscuit says, "Oh." Sarah says, "Okay, so good, real." Kala says, "Oh, great pick." Andy says, "Ooh." Sarah says, "Bambola song of the year." IDK, what you're talking about? Fair enough. Uni says, "I do love me some Bambola." That is true. Bambola hits. Gucky says, "It's almost midnight. You're allowed to be a little out of it." Hey. Like you said, we're gonna be on the struggle bus tomorrow, so I get it. Kala says, "This choreo lives rent free in my head." I also agree. Choreo is incredible, but I love this album. Genuinely, like I said, I think it does not lose that whimsy for me. Every time I listen to it, I'm always like, I'm always just floored by his incredible vocal range. But as well as that, I feel like the musicality is just so much fun. Like this one's got such a good like beat and rhythm to it, and I think it's very catchy. Like the way that they utilize Stunna, I just feel like it just hits. There's just something about like the dynamics of the song that's really good. Shouts to Jacob Werner and Elias Edmond. They also did a phenomenal job, like composing it, producing it, and arranging it, along with Ten. So great work there. But I think all of the songs are just like a really interesting journey, and I feel like again it shows off all facets of him as a vocalist. So, and I think that's what you want to see, right? Like I think you want to see diversity. You want to be able to see how far artists can push themselves, and I do feel like Ten is like one of those artists. I don't know how high on the scale of notoriety he is, but I think for me, like I, especially covering WayV and also covering his solo material, I have had a newfound respect for him as a artist. But I feel like this album just kind of pushed that more so into the ether for me, which is really cool and excited to see what he does. I think, like I said, he's a multifaceted artist in different groups as well, and I think he's been able to showcase and highlight his vocal abilities so well. So I'm always excited to see what he has cooking next. But yeah, favorite album of the year goes to 10. Shout outs to you, 10. I don't know if you're gonna watch this, but kudos to you if you do. Much love. But yeah, this was incredible. But yeah, that's my top K-pop albums of the year. I feel like we were at a difficult road here this year. Not to say that there hasn't been, again, some great records. I'm sure there's some that I missed out on. I feel like that is true of every year, but yeah, I feel like this was just a fun list to put together, and I always love doing that. I think it's cool to see that, and obviously I'm excited to see Chat's albums of the year and songs of the year and all that jazz. So if you haven't gotten your song of the year to Sarah, if you'd like to participate, let us know. But I would like to say that I think I was a little bit more wide variety this year, which is cool. I love that. Some groups that I wasn't expected, and as well as that, a lot of Boys Planet groups, which I was also not expected as well. But damn, they've got some good groups. So that's awesome. But very cool. As well as that, big salutes to every one of y'all. I know I say this often, but everyone that's in chat, I'm very grateful for, especially during this holiday season. Always very appreciative of people showing up, showing me love. It means more than I could, you know, more than I could ever imagine. I know I say that often and a lot, but I feel as though, if it is not said, then it is not heard. So I appreciate y'all so much. I hope everybody gets to spend a lot of time with friends and family this holiday season. So I'm very, very excited to see what 2026 brings. It will be my literal decade of doing this, which is insane to me. But I'm very excited to tackle 2026 and see what that has to hold for this upcoming year. So appreciate y'all so much. Like I said, we'll be doing the songs of the year for you guys. Probably I'm gonna try to do it either this weekend or I'll figure out what's happening. And then the following Monday, I'm doing like alternative. So all of my like heavy non K-pop related top favorites. So if you want to come through for that, that'd be awesome. No obligation certainly, but I always do one every year, and I feel like this year is no different. I always got to show the love to the OG love. So if you want to come through to that and get put onto some new music outside of K-pop, would highly recommend. Very excited to show that one off next Monday. So thanks again. Appreciate y'all so much. Let's see what we got here real quick on comments, and then I'll be heading to bed. Great selection of albums. Thank you, Gunky. Cal says nicely done. Unia says solid list. Sarah says good selections. Sarah says please do. That can be whenever Brandon says so. And Gunky says so. The big change for me this year is I'm liking K-pop less and liking K-rock more. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Sarah says Boys Planet rocked and had excellent trainees. So that is true. That is true. That is true. Big facts. Kala says grateful for you and this community. Hey, big love to you, Kala. Appreciate it. Gunky says I'm thankful for all you do and it's always fun to watch your streams. Thank you, Gunky. Appreciate it. So to those who are new, come join. I feel like we are a very welcoming community. So if you are watching this, please join. And if you feel, you listen to a bunch of groups, multi-stan, would love to see you in chat or in Discord. I try to hang out, say hello to everybody. So come through if you have not. But thanks again. Hope everyone has a lovely holiday. Enjoy it, please. If you're working, get some rest. Enjoy your time off. You only get one time to do it. So enjoy it with the loved ones. So appreciate it. See you guys on hopefully this weekend, if not next Monday. So peace, y'all.